TikTok, Facebook, and there's a group that I started. It's called The Art of Tantric Love. That's where we're going to talk about relationships. There is a YouTube channel for it, but it doesn't have enough to do lives on it. But I'll do the lives for that one on this regular YouTube channel. But The Art of Tantric Love. That's where I talk about relationships. So there's a Facebook group for it, and there is a TikTok channel for it. So we're going to start doing lives on that one, not starting this week. Well, we'll do one this week, but then we're going to get on a regular schedule. That one on that channel on every Wednesday. We'll do that one. Do a relationship live on Wednesday. But be on the channel because sometimes I just might do a live, period. Just for if I ain't got much going on, I'll just do a live. But guaranteed every Tuesday, and we're going to try to stick to a schedule every Tuesdays and Thursdays. We're going to come on this channel and do a live at 10 a.m. every Tuesday and Wednesday. That will get us through this series of what's wrong with the Bible. But on Thursday will probably be a different subject. So Wednesday morning, we'll continue with our what's wrong with the Bible. How you doing, Jason? And then we'll go into relationships on Thursday. Wednesday, and then we'll do not this Wednesday because I got an appointment, so we'll do it this Friday. And then on Thursday, we'll do a different subject matter concerning spirituality. It may have something to do with the Bible, it may not. Maybe talk about the hermetics or going over other things like the Tao. It'll be more of a spiritual show that's not so much like, oh, let's see what's wrong with something, but things that help you to grow spiritually and have a greater, deeper understanding of yourself. And we're going to do that here on these shows as well. But I look forward to you guys being a part of, each one of those shows on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Like I said earlier, hey, Debbie, how you doing? If you want to support the channels, you can support it by sharing it, by liking it. That helps the algorithm. You can also, as this gentleman Errol, when he catches me on YouTube, he does a super chat on YouTube financially. But if you wanted to do in my bio on TikTok, at least, there's my Cash App, which is $ my name, LaRenzoreid. It helps with the content because I'm probably going to get some better software soon. But I got a lot of business. I got a lot of things I got to pay for this cigar lounge. But we've had our technical delay. But now it's time to get started with the subject matter at hand. So on Facebook, let me know who you are and where you're from. So let's get this thing started. So just as a recap, in 43, last week we did 41 and 42. And we're in the Joseph story. We're talking about how Joseph faked his way into becoming the second in leadership of Egypt. But somehow this information is not within any Egyptian manuscripts. It's not on any Kemetic meta-netchers. It's not on any walls. You would think that if somebody became second in command and was taking care of everything. Redding, California. Ooh, you up early, Angela. You up early. Yeah, see, like Angela on Thursday, those are the days that we're going to do shows where we talk about things like past lives and time loops. The sons of Mithra used to say that they say in their canon that, time is like a circled river, and we pick and choose from every different aspect of time that we live in. Okay, Texas, still up early. And we can talk about past life regression, experiencing past lives, that sort of thing. But, I love you too. I'm feeling the love. So, back to it. So, Joseph, he supposedly read Pharaoh's dream. 7 years of feast of abundance, 7 years of famine. And he was the only one who could interpret this dream. None of the Pharaoh's wise men or magicians could do it. And then his brothers came. He recognized his brothers. His brothers didn't recognize him, which is kind of an odd thing. And then they had, this little back and forth, sending his brother, keeping Simeon as a slave. So Simeon is not a slave. Simeon is in jail at this point. and he not sent the brothers home. And the brothers went and they told their daddy Jacob what's going on, Jake, and they was like, you got to send us Benjamin in order to get, him out of jail. And Jacob / Israel is like, no, because I really only love my two because they were. What up, Kevin? What's up, dude? Yo, if y'all don't know, for some of y'all wouldn't know this, like TikTok viewers wouldn't know. That dude, Kevin Wesley, he's the reason why I'm doing this. I was perfectly fine minding my own business. What was that, man? Like 8-9 years ago? And then I hooked up with this guy. Now, and I started doing these things. But that's my guy, So we're going to go ahead and go through this and talk about this book and how it's messed up. Even within its writing, it has contradictions. Even within its writing, it has moralities that no one would even want to deal with. How you doing, Renee? And I'm going to apologize for my cell phone because it rings often. Oklahoma. Been watching for 3 months. Thank you. Michael Matthews. I hope you like the videos that I did about what we talked about yesterday, Michael. And Kevin, I got to actually talk to you later, and you don't answer your phone like you should. I need to talk to you later about some business stuff. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started here in chapter 43 and see how Joseph is going to continue with this back and forth with his brothers with things that don't make sense. And instead of just saying, hey, man, I'm your brother. You know what? I know y'all did me wrong, but let me take care of my family in sort of sense. And then we're going to see some subtle racism, but the racism is not going to make sense as far as how this should work. But it also gives us an indication on why the Europeans were able to develop racism in the 1600s and start separating people by race, because they were able to use this book to create racism and justify it so that people would agree to it. And then the transatlantic, trans-Sahara slave trade could happen, and not just the Europeans, but also the Arab nation. All right. Keep listening, Kevin. So we're going to go ahead and get into 43. Now, famine was severe in the land. So when they had eaten all the grain they had brought from Egypt, their father said to them, go back and buy us a little more food. Now, this is, if you remember, if you was watching last week, then you saw that the brothers had went to Egypt because there was a famine. They heard that there was food and famine. They came, and Joseph recognized them, and he said, no, y'all are spies. If you're not a spy, and you got another brother at home, then go back and bring your little brother. When they got there, Jacob / Israel was like, hell no, you're not sending my own son, because this son is only the one that I got from Rachel. And y'all know Rachel was my favorite wife because I didn't like, lazy-eyed Leah. So no, you can't have him. So now they have sat and they have eaten all the food while Simeon has been sitting in jail. So Jacob don't care as much about his other son sitting in jail through this whole time frame. While they're sitting there and eating and feeding their people, they're just leaving Simeon in jail. Now, I know people, we always talk about how these are people of color. I know black folks in America, at least, we don't leave family in jail. That joke can go in and out of jail 50-11 times, and we'll keep going and get them out of jail. Trust me, I know. I had one of those family members. He's passed away now. But we do that. But Jacob, who we already know is a trickster, he tricked his brother Esau twice, tricked Laban, had old tricky wife and Rachel. They had the whole baby race and all that kind of stuff with Rachel, Leah, Bilhah, and I don't know why I keep forgetting the other slave wife name. So this is not some super loving family that we're dealing with here. So they just sitting there feeding the animals, eating the food. And then when the food is run out, now Jacob is saying, go back, right? But Judah, the worst brother, well, one or two of the worst brothers, the other one's in jail, Simeon. Because remember, Simeon had tricked those dudes in that city that say, hey, y'all rape my sister, Dana, y'all go get circumcised and y'all can join us. And when the men were sitting there hurting with the circumcision, they went and genocided the whole town. So Simeon, he deserved to be in jail. He deserves to be in jail. But Judah said to him, the man warned us solemnly, you will not see my face again unless your brother, who he's referring to Benjamin, who's the only other son of Rachel, is with you. If you will send our brother along with us, we will go down and buy food for you. But if you will not send him, we will not go down, because the man said to us, you will not see my face again unless your brother is with you. So Judah's making a fair point here to his daddy. But then Israel asked, why did you bring this trouble on me by telling the man you had another brother? Now, this is where Judah is about to show that he is just like his father, a straight up liar. They replied, the man questioned us closely about ourselves and our family. Is your father still living? He asked us. Do you have another brother? We simply answered his questions. How were we to know he would say, bring your brother down here? Now, if you was here last week, you know that Joseph never asked those questions. These jokers just volunteered the information. If they were spies, as Joseph had originally accused them of being, they are horrible spies because they gave up information without being questioned about it. So this is also disingenuous to their father, who he's a liar anyway. And they just sitting up here lying about what actually went down, because Joseph never asked those questions. So some people could say that, the Bible writers forgot that Joseph never asked those questions, or you can say that they're a liar. Choose which one. It depends upon which one you want. So the Bible was forced on you, and they used to scare the crap out of you. That's what the Bible is all about. It's about scaring people. It's scaring you into submission. Then their father Israel said to them, if it must be, then do this. Put some of the best products of the land in your bag and take them down to the man as a gift. A little balm, a little honey, some spice and some myrrh, some pistachio nuts and some almonds. Take double the amount of silver with you, for you must return the silver that was put into your mouths of your sacks. Perhaps it was a mistake. Take your brother also and go back to the man at once. And may Almighty God grant you the mercy before the man, so that he will let your other brother and Benjamin come back with you. As for me, I am bereaved. So let's bribe him up real good, basically is what he's saying. Now, if you remember, right, when they got ready to come back, Joseph had put some silver in one of their bags, and then it was like, oh shit, he got ready to feed his family. He's like, oh, I got all my silver. None of them checked to see if they had any silver. They waited till they got home. They was like, oh shit, we all got silver. Now the man gonna think we stole from him. And then there's gonna be some bullshit about that in a minute. And that bullshit that is gonna come about that. So I want you to remember that aspect of it. And that's why I brought it up, because there's some BS that happens with that, which is something that Christians use to this day, that religious people use to this day. No. So the men took the gifts and doubled the amount of silver, and Benjamin also. They hurried down to Egypt and presented themselves to Joseph. When Joseph saw Benjamin with him, he said to his steward of the house, take these men to my house, slaughter an animal, and prepare a meal. They are to eat with me at noon. So as soon as he saw him, this is what they start doing this. And there are some people I'm going to straight up ignore on this, because we are not getting into stupid conversation. All right. So the man did as Joseph told him and took the men to Joseph's house. So Joseph invited them to dinner. So now the men were frightened. When they were taken to his house, they thought, we were brought here because of the silver that was put back into our sacks the first time. He wants to attack us and overpower us and seize us as slaves and take our donkeys. So And that's a legitimate thought. You know, this guy has dealt with them kind of rough. Joseph dealt with him kind of rough. So they should be like, you know, kind of checking this man out, not accepting, you know, he luring us in. So they went up to Joseph's steward and spoke to him at the entrance of the house. We beg your pardon, our Lord, they said. We came down here the first time to buy food, but at the place where we stopped for the night, we opened our sacks and each of us found his silver, the exact weight, in the mouth of his sack. So we have brought it back with us. Now, y'all heard that. Joseph, I mean, who is saying that? Or it just says they. That's not what happened. That's not what happened. Only one brother opened his sack at the place that they stopped. The rest of them didn't open a sack until they got in front of their father, Joseph. So there again, either they are lying or the writers of the Bible forgot what they wrote only two or three chapters ago. So it's one or the other. Are they lying, or did the Bible writers forget what they had just said? Because they're giving a different rendition of when they found the sacks. But Joseph, it's all, and this is the bullshit that they use in churches all the time. Joseph then says, it's all right. He said, don't be afraid. Your God, the God of your father, has given you treasure in your sack. I received your silver. Then he brought Simeon out to them. Joseph knows that he ordered his servant to put the gold back, to put the silver back into their sack. Him claiming that God put the silver back into their sack. Now, Joseph knows this, that he put it in there, but they don't. So this is a kind of a swerve. It's like a magician. I'm going to do a magic trick. So I'm going to put it in your bag, just like a magician would do something, know what the trick is, but then claim that it is magic. So he put the silver into their sacks, but he's claiming that God did it. Now, from Joseph's perspective, he knows that God did not do this. And I know Christians will say, well, it was God moved Joseph's heart to do so. And that's why they'll give God the credit. But as far as the dudes, they know, for them, their perspective is the silver just miraculously came back to them in their sacks. They would have no idea. And I'm sure you guys have seen or experienced, whereas you think something miraculous happened, but it's not miraculous. This is cause and effect. The reason why the silver was in the sack is because Joseph put it in there. Joseph was the cause, and the effect is they believe they received their silver from God. It's the same way that when I see people, they'll say that they'll be giving a testimony, and I was broke and I needed some money, and then God saw fit that the mortgage company gave me a refund check, and the check just came in the mail right on time, not realizing that you have been paying too much in for your tax. They have been taking out too much for taxes and insurance, and then they legally have to return that money back to you at the end of the year or the cycle of your mortgage when it's an overpayment. So whenever your insurance payment is, when your tax payment is, if there's more in there, the mortgage company can't keep it. They have to return it to you. It's not a miracle. You were overpaying, and maybe you would not have been in a financial stress if you had that money with you all year. But people will take things like that and make it into a miracle of God. But it's cause and effect. That's all it is. So Joseph is doing the same. He's doing the same thing. He's making them think that their God of their father has put this treasure in their sacks when he knows that he's the one who did it. But it would appear to them as if it's some sort of miracle thing that happened. And, if you're asking a question that's on the subject matter, we'll answer that question. But if not, we will not. I always find it interesting, people who, if you don't like what we talk about, why are you here? I don't know. I don't like mispronouncing. They didn't kill those men to protect their sister. They killed those men in that town because he had raped his sister and wanted to marry her. That's not protecting. That's vengeance. It's a difference. And Pharaoh's magicians, no, they weren't the cause of it. They weren't the cause. I never said they were the cause. I said Joseph told his servant to put it in the sack. So you got to listen, Rattler. I don't know. I don't want to mess up your first name. But you got to listen. All right. I know you stuck on your Bible, and that's fine. But say what I say. Repeat. If you're going to say what I said, say it what I said, not what you think I said. Jacob actually helped our people. First of all, I'm not Israelite, so I don't know who the our people. So, if you claim to be Israelite, good for you. Good for you. Not complaining at all. But if you was here last week, you would have also saw that I talked about the fact that there was during King Pharaoh Joseph's era, good 800 years before Joseph, there was a story of a 7-year famine, and Joseph had a dream about the famine. And after Joseph's dream of the famine, him and Imhotep deciphered the dream to recognize that Khnum was telling them that you need to rebuild and take care of my temple and tax the people, and then I will release the flood waters and end the story of Joseph, if it was real, would have happened. And then this story is not even written down until about another 1,000 years after this supposed story happened. So therefore, it is not a valid story because it is borrowed. Right. And Joseph told him to put it in the sack. That's the only thing about this. My cigar keeps going out. And I love my cigars. The steward took the men into Joseph's house, gave them water to wash their feet, and provided fodder for their donkey. They prepared their gifts for Joseph's arrival at noon because they had heard that they were to eat there. When Joseph came home, they presented to him the gifts they had brought into the house, and they bowed down before him to the ground. Now, if you remember, Joseph had a dream. He said that his brothers would bow down to him. The dream is coming true. The brothers are bowing down to him. He asked them how they were, and then he said, "How is your aged father you told me about? Is he still living?" I don't know why he asked this question. Well, he could have asked because he could have died since they left. They replied, "Your servant, our father, is still alive and well." And they bowed down, prostrating themselves before him. So they bowed down to him, like he said in his dream. As he looked about and saw his brother Benjamin, his own mother's son, he asked, "Is this your youngest brother, the one you told me about?" He said, "God be gracious to you, my son." Deeply moved at the sight of his brother, Joseph hurried out and looked for a place to weep. He went into his private room and wept there, which is going to be a repetitive thing of Joseph's weeping. Joseph's weeping. After he had washed his face, he came out and, controlling himself, he said, "Serve the food." They served him. Now, this is an interesting part to me. Good morning, Denise. How you doing? Uncle Renz. Uncle Renz popcorn. Thank you. Yes, everybody hit the like button, as Denise is saying. Now, this is an interesting part, and this is one way that this is not, you can call it racism or tribalism or whatever you like, but this is one of those things that people would like to, those who are racist like to use to continue to push their people, to push people into, to continue to be racist and to subjugate people and justify it by using biblical texts. They served him by himself, the brothers by themselves, and the Egyptians who ate with him by themselves. because Egyptians could not eat with Hebrews, for it was detestable to Egyptians. So Egyptians couldn't eat with Hebrews because it was detestable to them. Now, one aspect about that I found interesting is that if this story actually had happened, and Joseph, who was known to be a Hebrew to Pharaoh, but was put in charge of everything in the house, was second in command only to Pharaoh, that this would have been a widely known story at the time, that this Hebrew who was a slave, then put in jail, then interpreted Pharaoh's dream, and then became second to Pharaoh. Everybody, at least in Egypt, would have known that. So the guards couldn't eat with him because the guards wouldn't eat with him because he was Hebrew. You could say that the guards didn't eat with him because he was such a high-ranking person. You could also lend to that, but you would think his brothers, this story, because of the way communication worked back then, by the number of years that had passed by while Joseph was in charge, would have been at least 8 to 9 years. They would have known he was Hebrew. His brothers would have known that he was Hebrew. But they have this separation, and people use those kinds of separations to say that this is why we don't, you can't mix races. This is why we can't come to the table with other races. This is why other races must be subjugated, because it is detestable to eat with them. As the Egyptians found it to eat with Hebrews, Europeans found that same thing with black people. They found the same thing with brown people in India. They found the same thing with who they call red people. They brown and black in the Americas. They continued this same thing of racism, and it's not just them. The Japanese, when they subjugated China, they found it detestable. They had parks where dogs can go in, but Chinese people couldn't go into the parks. So this type of racism is like a human thing that people like to separate themselves, and which is one of the reasons why our world is so jacked up, and why we got to find our own peace and harmony within ourselves, and understand that we are far greater than our skin tone. We are far greater than a tribe. We are far greater than a nationality or any of those things, because those things are nothing but separators. They're just separators. And as long as we hold on to them, we will continue to be working on a lower level of our divinity instead of working at a higher level of our divinity, because we believe and follow situations like this, where it's detestable to even sit down and have a meal with somebody because they weren't born in the same place that we were born into. And that's all it is, the chance of birth. It's the chance of birth. So to continue, the men had been seated before him in order of their ages, from the firstborn to the youngest, and they looked at each other in astonishment. When portions were served to them from Joseph's table, Benjamin's portion was 5 times as much as anyone else's. So they feasted and drank freely with him. Now, if you remember, when we first started with Joseph's daddy, Jacob / Israel, he made sure the other brothers knew that Joseph was his favorite. Gave him the whole technicolored jacket, everything, technicolored robe. Made sure that they knew who was the favorite. Here is Joseph doing the same thing, showing favoritism to the little brother, to the baby brother at that. And, I'm the baby brother of my 3 sisters and 1 brother. Did I get more things? Yeah, I did. Only because as those jokers became adults, my mother only had to focus on me. My grandparents only had to focus on me. So I was the baby. So I got more than what they. I was spoiled by my grandparents. I was spoiled by my mom, right? More so than the other siblings. But my other siblings never did that to the others in front of the other siblings, meaning that it's funny, Denise X on here, and I can't see the picture. I might need to see the picture just to make sure. I need to see the picture to make sure. So, like, my older brothers and sisters, did they give me things? Did they take care of me? Did they like do stuff for me when they were adults and I was still like in junior high and high school? Sure. But they never did it in front of the other siblings because that creates an animosity between the siblings. And Joseph, not only he does it here, and next week when we get into 45 and 45, we're going to see Joseph do it again, where he creates this situation where he's showing favoritism to one sibling over the other. And that's not villages. They're killing all the baby children and that sort of thing. But even these subtle immoralities are important because they shape how people think and what people do. Denise said, I see everyone and everything as yourself. Life is better that way. And it is. Everyone and everything, we're all the same. You know, you're like your third eye is blocked by thinking that you're separate from the world. You're separate from the universe. We're separate from each other. We're separate from animals, from plants, that we are that there's a separation. Are there differences? Yes. But those differences are just different frequencies, different energy patterns. That's all they are. But we're all should be working in concert with each other, you know, vibing together. So now Joseph. So now, we're going to get into 40. Now we're going into chapter 44. So we're going to have a lot of time for question and answer. We're going to have like probably an hour for question and answer because these two chapters are very, very short. All right. And when we do that part, we can talk about almost any subject. So, and I got to relight my cigar. Now, Joseph gave these instructions to the steward of the house. Fill the men's sack with as much food as they can carry and put each man's silver in the mouth of his sack. Then put my cup, the silver one, in the mouth of the youngest one's sack, along with the silver for his grain, as he did with Joseph. Now, as I said, I thought that this was in 45. My bad. So it's right here. It's right here where Joseph does it a second time. So he's filling. Wait a minute. Nope. Actually, it is in 45 that I was thinking about. This is just him. So Joseph is doing it again. You would think these guys would have figured it out by now that this brother, that they, you know, to check their sacks before they leave, you know, but nope, they don't check it. As morning dawned, the men were set on their way with their donkeys. They had not gone far from the city when Joseph said to his steward, go after those men at once. And when you catch up with them, say to them, why have you repaid good with evil? Isn't this the cup my master drinks from and also uses for divination? This is a wicked thing you have done. Now, he said that he uses this cup for divination. Maybe it's just me. But I could swear up and down that the Bible, as well as Christians, denounce divination. Now, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but does not the Bible and Christians denounce divination? But yet, Joseph is saying, I use this cup for divinations. Now, we know why they say this. They say this because if their book says that one of their people did divination, it's of God. But if anybody else does divination based on their religion, then it's from the devil. So only if you agree with them religiously can your divinations not be witchcraft. But if your divination is done through some other method and not believing in their God, then, you know, it's witchcraft. But if it's done through their God, then it's holy and it's righteous. This is yet how we continue to separate ourselves by, you know, throwing stones and hiding our hand. So when he caught up to them, he repeated these words to them. But they said to him, why does my Lord say such things? Far be it from your servant to do anything like that. We even brought back to you from the land of Canaan the silver we found inside the mouth of our sacks. So why would we steal silver or gold from your master's house? If any of your servant is found to have it, he will die, and the rest of us will become my Lord's slave. That's a valid point. We knew we had some silver. We brought it back. Why would we steal some more stuff? We didn't Ocean's 11 you. Why would we do that? But now this part was stupid. You didn't check your sacks before you left, but you're gonna say you are so overconfident that you say, if you find it, you can kill us, and you can kill the person who stole it, and then we'll become your slave. Why would he even risk that when he know that his father, Jacob Israel, has already let you know that Benjamin is his new favorite son, and that he will die if Benjamin is not returned? He let Simeon sit in jail because he didn't want to send Benjamin. The only reason he sent Benjamin is because he ran out of food. His belly got hungry. So now to say this, why would you set that up? Like I said, if they were spies, they are horrible spies. You would never say that. You don't give them the punishment. He said, very well then, he said, let it be as you say. Whoever is found to have it will become my slave, and the rest of you will be free from the blame. This steward is kind of stupid. I guess that's why he's the steward. And Joseph is the master. He gave you a slick deal. You could kill one and have 10 slaves. By the way, remember, who was it? Was it Reuben? Reuben said, hey, Daddy, if we don't come back with Benjamin, you can kill your grandkids. But this dude is just going to be satisfied with one slave. But that's not what so he's dumb, or the Bible writers forgot what they just said like one paragraph ago. So whichever one you want to choose. But he said, the rest of you be free from blame. Each one of them quickly lowered his sack to the ground to open it. Then the steward proceeded the search, beginning with the oldest and ending with the youngest. And the cup was found in Benjamin's sack. That's just a little suspense writing. More than likely, Benjamin would have been in the back. And although he would have went and talked to the older brother as per custom of their culture. And then he could search on down. Okay, that makes sense. Then the steward proceeded to search, beginning with the oldest and ending with the youngest. And the cup was found in Benjamin's sack. At this, they tore their clothes. Then they all loaded their donkey and returned to the city. If you don't know, for the Hebrew culture, it's when they're distressed, they tear their clothes. I would love to be a seamstress back then, because you're going to make some money off these people, because they be tearing their clothes all the time. Right. They kill people easily back then. Angela, what are you smoking today? Brand flavor. I love the smell of a good tobacco. Oh, this in particular one is my cigar, the cigar that I make. It's called a My Nicaraguan 1111. You can find it on the smokingphoenixcigars.com website. But it's a Nicaraguan cigar. All Nicaraguan. Because I like my Nicaraguans. Views on my Smoking Phoenix channels. I talk about it a lot. All right. So he found it in the little one's sack, in the younger brother's sack. And they tore their clothes. And they all loaded after they tore their clothes, then they all loaded their donkeys and returned to the city. Joseph was still in the house when Judah and his brothers came in, and they threw themselves to the ground before him. Joseph said to them, now he's going to repeat, the half of this chapter is him about to repeat every goddamn thing that happened before, as if Joseph don't know. But he's trying to make his case. Where was I? Joseph was still in the house when Judah and his brother came, and they threw themselves to the ground before him. Joseph said to them, what is this you have done? Don't you know that a man like me can find things out by divination? Again, with the divination thing, even though he didn't do this by divination, he did this because each one is $11. He did this because it wasn't by divination. He knew he ordered the dude to put it in there. So, but he's playing the little mind games with his brother. What can we say to you, my lord? What can we say to you, my lord? Judah replied, what can we say? How can we prove our innocence? God has uncovered your servant guilty, has uncovered your servant's guilt. We are now my Lord's slave, we ourselves, and the one who was found to have the cup. So he thrown his brother under the bus. But Joseph said, far be it from me to do such a thing. Only the man who was found to have the cup will become my slave. The rest of you go back to your father in peace. Then Judah went up to him and said, pardon your servant, my lord. Let me speak a word to my lord. Do not be angry with your servant, though you are equal to Pharaoh himself. No, he's not equal to Pharaoh himself. My lord asked his servant, do you have a father or a brother? And we answered, he did not ask you that. We have an aged father, and there is a younger son born to him in his old age. His brother is dead, and he is the only one of his mother's son left, and his father loves him. Then you said to your servants, bring him down to me so that I can see him for myself. And we said to my lord, the boy cannot leave his father. If he leaves him, his father will die. But you told your servant, unless your youngest brother come down with you, you will not see my face again. Then when we went back to your servant, my father, we told him what the Lord has said to him. Now, this is a good ass speech because he keep on throwing in, your servant to make sure that, they also tear their clothes when a relative is dead. So this is a good speech. He's making a good case. He's appealing to hopefully get some sympathy here. It's a good speech. Then our father said, go back and buy a little more food. But we said, we cannot go down. Only if our youngest brother is with us, we will go. We cannot see the man's face unless our youngest brother is with us. Your servant, my father, said to us, you know that my wife bore me 2 sons. One of them went away from me and said, one of them went away from me, and I said, he has surely been torn to pieces, and I have not seen him since. If you take this one from me too, and harm comes to him, you will bring my gray head down to the grave with me, grave in misery. Now, this is why I don't lie. This is why I tell people never lie, because these brothers told the lie, and their dad been living with this lie for all these years. So it's been somewhere around, as far as him being gone, around 12 years that they've been making sure they keep this lie going. I think he knew if he kept Benjamin, his father would come to him. This is true. He may, but he's going to send them back. He's going to send them back. Doing my gray hair at that point. So his father's going to get gray and grave in his misery. So now if the boy is not with us when I go back to your servant, my father, and if my father whose life is closely bound up with the boy's life, sees that the boy isn't there, he will die. Your servants will bring the gray head of our father down to the grave in sorrow. Your servant guaranteed the boy safety to my father. And I said, if I do not bring him back to you, I will bear the blame before you, my father, all my life. Now then, please let your servant remain here as my lord's slave in place of the boy, and let the boy return to his brother. How can I go back to my father if the boy is not with me? No, do not let me see the misery that will come down on my father. And that's just how it ends. It ends like on this little cliffhanger part right there. After Judah is giving this big old speech about how he's going to bear the blame. But he's bearing the blame of a lie that they told their father all those years ago, that Joseph had died and was killed by some animals. So they have allowed their father to believe that his favorite son was dead this whole time. So he wants to stay there because it's like, this boy got to go home. So at least they showing a little bit of any more grief. Yet they were the ones who initiated this. In the later chapters, Joseph is going to be like, no, God, y'all didn't send me into slavery. God sent me into slavery. And you notice people only say that kind of thing when it works out for them. If things don't work out for you, people don't say that. They don't say that at all. But that's pretty much how that chapter ends. True, we could go into 45, 46 because they're short, but we're not, because we're going to save that for next week because I don't want to do more than 2 at a time. So now we're going to just, if you want to have answer questions, we want to have conversations about pretty much any subject. If you got any questions about this one, and again, support the channel by liking it and all that kind of stuff. Like it, share it, all this. That'd be cool. But so as we went through this story, what we just see is Joseph going back and forth, telling lies. And that divination part really throws me off, simply because you know, I dream every night. Like the dream I had last night was weird, but I dream every night. And many of my dreams have meanings, and many of my dreams come true. That's why if I have a dream, I had a dream some years ago about my kids, um, and it was a warning dream, and they were supposed to go on this trip, and they didn't go because I had the dream, and them jokers didn't go. But my family knows that my dreams, even though my family recognizes that I'm not Christian, they recognize how my dreams work. So when I told them that something that my kids would go and there would be this car accident and all this sort of thing, the first question they understood, they said, okay. And the first question they asked was anybody else in the accident? Did anybody else get harmed or injured or die? And because they wanted to make sure, because they were ready to cancel the entire trip if I would have said, if the dream had been that other people died, because they recognize how my dreams have always come true over my lifetime. But of course, I'm not Christian. So then my dreams or the divination of my dreams should be witchcraft. It would be witchcraft to anybody else outside of my family who is Christian, right? But my dreams have always benefited me. Like the dream I had last night gave me some information of things that I'm not going to do that I was planning on doing, and also I was going to say some people, but a person that I already removed out my life, but not to let that person back into my life. So, and I will follow up on that, because the weird thing about it is that although I ran into the person like 6 months ago, they haven't contacted me, haven't said anything, but I guarantee that in some form or fashion, that person will try to contact me very soon. And the dream was a warning to me not to allow that person to come back into my life. And I won't. But of course, that will be considered witchcraft because I'm not Christian. So a Christian would say that that dream could not have come from God. It had to have come from somewhere else. It had to come from the devil. Especially some of the people who follow me on Facebook. They would definitely say that. Yeah, so I'm waiting on some questions or some statements. You know, isn't divination witchcraft? According to Christians, it is. Unless it's done by somebody who is Christian or somebody who is of this book, then it's not witchcraft. Then it's from God. So then it's holy. So it's relative to who's saying it, not so much as to the other part. I wish I could add people onto this. Ooh. That would be cool. I know I can do it on TikTok. Oh, you actually can share the broadcast on Facebook as well. I don't know how the volume will work. We should test that out. If anybody on TikTok, because I don't know how to, definitely can't do it on YouTube. I don't know how to do that at all. It's one of the things that I'm going to have a conversation with Kevin about, as far as the software that he was using in order to have multiple people on your live stream. But I know that, let me see. I don't know this. I never tried this before. But like I said, the reason why we're reading this, we're doing this, is because people have asked, the people, like say, you're not reading your Bible, you don't read the Bible, you don't know what the Bible says. I read these stories over 50 times. So yeah, I've read them plenty of times. Use StreamYard for YouTube. I think that is what Kevin told me like 4 years ago, but I ignored the hell out of him and I didn't do it. Are you saying that? Saying that reminded me of that. But we are going to now, if you didn't catch it earlier, I said that we're going to start doing these shows every Wednesday, Tuesdays and Thursday at 10 o'clock. So 10 o'clock every Wednesday and Thursday. Tuesday and Thursday, 10 o'clock. Not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday. But I'm probably going to do it on Friday. If you're not part of my the Art of Tantric Love TikTok group, TikTok page, Facebook group, on this YouTube, I'm gonna still do this. I'm gonna talk about it as well. We're gonna do relationships on it, but that's a relationship channel. We'll talk about relationships on that channel. That's we're going to do a live on Friday for that one. This particular live, we're going to talk about passport bros. I've always been clairvoyant. Witchcraft is just a bend in perception. Exactly, Angela. It's just a bend in perception. It's accessing. So the law of correspondence, as above, so below, says that there is a higher realm. There's a spiritual realm. There are different realms of understanding. There are different realms of consciousness and being. And witchcraft is just actually being able to, what they call witchcraft, will be able to work within those realms, to go beyond this matter plane of existence and to be able to actually work in a spiritual realm or into the what is commonly called the Christ mind, or even at a higher conscious level is called the Buddha mind, and being able to work through those, to be able to work, if you're working through Ifa or Voodoo, to work with your ancestors. Even in Christianity, there is a thing of working with their ancestors as they, especially with the Catholic version of Christianity. So that's all it is. And oftentimes it's just cause and effect. It's causations that people can't understand, And when you're working on those different planes of understanding and existence, then most people are not going to be able to understand how it's happening, where it's coming from. And so they're just going to claim that it's witchcraft. Now, most of the things that you do can be done on the matter plane existence. Because the law of cause and effect is the most powerful thing that you can possibly deal with. Right. We like to think that prayer or meditation is the most powerful thing, but it's not. Cause and effect is, if you can understand the causation, if there's a certain outcome that you want, a certain manifestation, as people like to say, that you desire to have, what you really need to do is figure out what is the causation to get that effect. If you understand that, you can manifest damn near anything that you desire. For instance, and I use money a lot because money is simple, or I use relationships a lot because relationships actually are very simple. That in a relationship, if you are negative towards a person, beating a person, mishandling the person financially, mishandling them emotionally, you're going to lose that person. You're not going to have a happy relationship. So you are the causation that's creating the negative effect of the relationship. If you spend more money than you make, and you mess up your credit, then you will not be able to buy a house, buy a car, be able to do those things. You're always going to be a debt slave. But if you save your money, if you work through a budget plan, if you build your credit, then the things that you want to buy become easily manifested to you because you have put yourself in the right position. You are the causation to be in the right position to be able to have those things in your life. If you're a person who likes to travel, you can't travel if you can't save money, right? If you do, you'll find yourself, in jeopardy all the time. So cause and effect is the most powerful thing that you should learn to work with, right? In the Marine Corps, we just call it discipline. Just discipline. Papa Soul, what's up, sir? Well, most follow the narrative, but don't really know or understand it. And they don't. Most people have never even read it. Like last week, I was talking about the fact that I did a poll, a couple of polls with varying groups of people, and most of them have never read the Bible from front to back. For those who have read it from front to back, they never actually studied it to be able to go back and forth within the chapters and verses. And very, very few have studied anything outside of it after they have read it to understand it in more detail beyond a concordance. Why should anyone pray or worship? You shouldn't. First, I'm going to start with the worship part. Should anyone worship a deity? The answer is no. You should never worship a deity. If a deity requires worship, then that deity is not the all. That deity is not the creator. Any creator that requires or needs worship, then that creator has a need And then that would mean the need is more powerful than the creator itself. So therefore, it cannot be the creator because it has a need, and the need is what drives it, right? So if you don't need to worship, then certainly you don't need to pray to it, because it is not doing anything but allowing you to utilize universal laws, the same laws that I just espoused about. I don't need to pray for good health if I do a better job with my health. Like, right now, I could use, I've been working out a little bit. I changed the room in my house to a gym. You work out, you better. Your health improves. You eat better, your health improves. I know somebody's gonna say stop smoking cigars because that's not good for your health. If I'm trying to have perfect health, the best health ever, you're absolutely correct. Is cigars the same as cigarettes? Absolutely not. This is all natural, and you don't inhale it. So, and everybody has their thing. Some of y'all eat meat. Eating meat is far worse than me smoking a cigar. But the other part of that, Denise, is if you truly want to grow and develop, then it's not outside of yourself you should be looking. You should be looking inside yourself. You should be delving into your mental mind. You should be delving into your heart mind. You should be delving into your gut mind. You should be delving into your sacral mind, because each one of those points does have synaptics similar to your brain. So there's a sense that each one of them think, but they think on a different level. Some are more instinctive and animalistic, which is why I always try to follow my instincts. But if you're not delving inside, the outside is never going to matter. I think there's an African proverb that Les Brown always liked to quote, and that proverb goes, I think it goes something similar to, if there's no devil on the inside, then if there's no enemy within, then the enemy without can do you no harm. Right? That also goes to people. If you're secure inside, then nothing outside you can hurt you. Right? Like when Christians come on here and they get mad and they want to say all this stuff that they want to say, and they want to they want to cast all these stones and everything. I never understand it because of that thinking. If you are secure within your Christianity, you wouldn't even come on this channel. You wouldn't even be bothering me. You would see it and keep moving. Like when I'm scrolling on one of these platforms and I see somebody has a sermon and they're talking about their Jesus, or they're talking about their Allah or whomever, I just keep scrolling, because whatever they're talking about is not for me. It's not going to build me. Why would I go there to be agitated? Makes no sense. Why would I go there to argue? Why would I go there to get myself all riled up? The only time I've stopped is the other day I saw a dude was saying, prove to me that Jesus is not God. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. But it wasn't a negative thing. It was something that I've just found interesting, which I like to study. I nerd out like that. You and I are definitely on the same page as it relates to the outside. Oh, exactly. I have been so close. I've been so good to believe for about 2 years now, because talking to them is draining. It is. But I would go in if they push me. True. And you should. I was listening to a young lady. I'm not sure if she's still on TikTok right now. But she's Sunflower Shaman. Very excellent channel. Very excellent channel. And she was talking about this yesterday, about how she has cut people out of her life who are mentally and emotionally abusing her by trying to force their religion on them, because that's not something that she's not going to allow anybody to do that to her. And we should all protect ourselves in that format. I won't go into those kinds of conversations with people if all it is a whole bunch of negative whining and crying. I go in on Believers Daily asking one question: prove it. And see, and I would imagine this doesn't bother you at all, right? And it can be fun at sometimes. Exactly. Christians are so loving, yet always um, pleasing blood and death on. Oh, pushing, pleasing blood and death on others. Pushing. Plus, they get angry too easily, and they do. If you are secure in your belief, why do you get angry? Why? You know, I don't know if Kevin is still watching, uh, but he knows that the reason why I had to stop doing the debate shows is there was one show we did together, and this guy irritated me to the level that I was literally angry. I was frustrated. And when I went in on the guy, he started crying. And I realized that that was something that I didn't want to do. I don't want to be that guy. That's not who I want to be. I don't want to, the guy came on, he wanted to prove his religion correctly or whatever. I don't even remember what the subject matter was, but he kept saying something that unnerved me, irritated me, right? So, yeah, I went in hard. And then when the guy started crying, afterwards, I was like, that's not what I want to do. I'm dyslexic and I have a difficult time understanding Bible, but I'm trying to give up. Trying to give up quickly. I have always looked for religion, but I'm square pegged and it's never fit. And if it doesn't fit, and that's what I tell people, your journey is for you. Your journey is for you. People have asked me why haven't I started an organization or something like that. It's mainly because I want people to understand that your journey is for you. You don't have to agree with everything I say. Matter of fact, if somebody agreed with everything I said, I would have a problem with that person. I would be like, no, you need to, do some critical thinking for yourself. And that's why Angela videos are great, because then you can hear it. And religion is never going to be a benefit to you, because religion says that you must do A, B, C, D. Otherwise, you're wrong and you're going to die, you're going to hell, all this other kind of stuff. Right. Michael said you need to know yourself. Exactly. Your topic caught my eye, and I wanted to see what you were saying. I read the Bible, the Quran. I can have a better understanding, so I can have a better understanding of these books. And that's exactly the journey that I went on. When I was in my teenage years, in my early 20s, is I went on a journey of discovering and reading all the books. Read the Bible, the Quran, the Vedics, the Torah, the Tanakh, the lost books. And then I read the Buddhist books, the Buddhist book, read like everybody's book. Then I started studying the ancient civilizations and the ancient writings, the Book of the Dead, the Book of Life, the Sumerian story, and started just reading everything. And I was mapping things out to see where things fit, what things were copies of what, so that I can have a better understanding of, so that I could have this better understanding. And I really wanted to be Christian. I did. I really did. Like back in those days, I really wanted to be Christian. Everything I was reading it in hopes of proving Christianity to be right. And then I was going to come out and I was going to be this big old Christian. But the more and more I studied, the more and more I realized that this is a man-made falsehood. Right? So I had to let it go. Right? When you identify religion, you put yourself in a box. Also, what happened to the Christian guy, Alton? Well, I don't know if you remember, but me and Alton, actually, we met up a few times. He lives here in Atlanta. We met up a few times, had lunch together. He's actually, and I always tell this people about this. There are people who hate me who've never met me, both in this world and in the cigar world. They hate me, but he's actually a nice guy. He's a decent guy. He's all about his Christianity. He started his own YouTube channel and whatnot. Haven't heard from him in years though. But he's doing his. In some of our conversations, I did ask him, why are you wasting so much time trying to come on people's channel who disagree with you? It's not your responsibility to go and save somebody in how you think saving works, but instead you should be trying to fully understand your own religion. And that actually was the last time I saw him. And it was right after he had started his own show. Right. But he's actually a pretty decent guy. He's a good guy. We actually, most of the time we talked. We talked about building business and how to build business. We didn't even talk about this kind of stuff. So and that's the beautiful thing. When you take religion out of the equation, people can have a great relationship with one another. They can be friends. They can get to know each other. But when you implement religion, it becomes divisive. And now people can't deal with each other simply because of religion. Not because of who the person is, not because they've done something for or against you, but because you have a religious belief. That's easily understandable, but yet humans can't do it. And even within each of their books, it tells them, the Christian Bible says, love your enemy. Many Christians would consider me an enemy, an antichrist. But what they spew is hatred. What they spew is insults. They can't come to me in love, but they come in anger and frustration. Because in order for them to validate their religion, I need to join up with them. I need to be a part of them. Now, if I needed anybody to agree with me in order to validate what I know, and then what I through estimation believe, I don't say estimate, hypothesis, then I got a problem. That's a problem within me. It's not a problem for them. It's a problem within me. That's why I tell people I don't need anybody to agree with me, and you shouldn't need anybody to agree with you. Christianity is a smart grift. It sure is. Look, I turned down on multiple occasions, especially in my early 30s, well, throughout my 30s, I turned down many opportunities where Christian pastors, knowing what I believe and what I don't, knowing what I know, offered me opportunities to become pastors in either their church or their organization, because some of them were with the bigger organizations, like the Methodists and that sort of thing. And I told them I can't do it. Not only can I not do it because I don't believe in what you guys are teaching, but I can't do it because I know that I will be, to use your term, grifting the people. I would. If I really wanted to, I don't have to come in here every day. I could have became a Christian pastor and made money, because it's a money game. It is. It's one of the easiest money games out there. It's one of the easiest money games out there, to prey on people's desire to have a heaven on earth as well as after earth. It's the easiest game, but just not gonna do it. It's not something that I would do. Smart guy, I remember that. Yep. A woman told me mentioned that men know. A woman told me that men know believing in you typing too fast. That believing in the Lord, and men, I think he meant men don't believe in the Lord. It would be an issue with her. Oh, that for men not believing in the Lord would be an issue with her. Shaking my head. I told her, adventurous, the Bible teaches you love and to be tolerant. I had to explain to her what yoke is, what yoke was. And you're right. Now, those who have followed me for a long time, they know that I've been married a couple times. Each wife was a Christian woman who believed that our differences would not be a problem. And I'm gonna be honest with you, religion was never, I was very specific with these women. I did investigate that aspect of it. I should have investigated a couple more things about them, but I didn't. But religion was never an issue. I will give those women that credit. Religion was not an issue initially. Now, once there were other issues, did they then compound it with religion? They did. They compounded it. But while we were dating, while we were engaged, religion was never a problem. But then afterwards, they made it a problem when the way they treated me, the way I treated them, the way how much I worked, or whatever the real issue was. Then they want to compound it and use religion as their excuse of issues. Yes, that's why I stopped going at one time. Yeah, I would stop going too. When I see that there's part of my divorce from my kid's mom was that the kids was still going to go to church, because we had an agreement before we had kids that they would learn Christianity, but they would learn everything that I teach as well. So when we got divorced, I still took them to church. It wasn't written in the divorce decree. It was just a agreement between her and I. She was a very honorable woman. So, and as people know, I freely admit that relationship I messed up. My ability to do conflict resolution was my skills were very low back then. So my kids learned both, but going to some of those churches, I had to switch churches with them a few times because, I was just like, these dudes are just after the money. If my kids got to be here, they need to learn something so that they can use critical thinking to realize what they want to follow and what they don't. Which none of my kids are Christian. And they're all adults now. That verse about being equally yoked is very misleading to people who don't know what they are reading. It's not. Most people just take equally yoked meaning that you got to have the same belief, but it goes far, far, far beyond that. Far beyond that. And just into the simple things, like, are we equally yoked in our financial mind? Are we equally yoked in our intimacy mind? Are we equally yoked in our play mind? Are we equally yoked? And it's just so many other aspects of being equally yoked that it's not talking about, that people don't deal with. That's why you see just as many divorces in religious relationships as you see in non-religious relationships. I can tell you, I was not equally yoked with a woman as far as how we do finances and how they're going to work. And that in itself, I had to stop dating that woman. I had to stop dating her because the stuff she was saying, I was like, you not lost your mind. We're not living like that. To live that way, you're going to be a drain, on my economics. And if I know this is something that I talk about on my relationship channel, no man wants to be with a woman that's going to drain him financially, because finances are just as important to us as like a woman's chastity is to her. I ain't saying that we love our money, but it's the effort and energy and mental aspects we have to put to get it. And then we're going to share it with you. But when you want to just take it, it's a whole different story. But I'm going to say it again. I do want you guys to go to my Facebook and TikTok channel, which is called The Art of Tantric Love. We're going to do a live on that one on Friday. I'm going to shoot a couple of videos leading up to it. I'm going to talk about Passport Bros on Friday on the live for that one. That live will also be here on YouTube. So you YouTube people, y'all good to go. You'll be able to access that one 10 o'clock on Friday, 10 a.m. on Friday. Thursday, we're going to do another live 10 a.m. here. It's not going to be a continuation of the Genesis thing. We're going to talk about something totally different. I don't know what the subject matter is going to be yet. It'll probably be something dealing with the Kabbalion or the Tao or something like that. But something more spiritual. It's something that's going to build you, grow you. All right. Got any other questions, statements? I got 48 minutes before I have to open the cigar lounge up. Yes, I'm on TikTok as well. I do post every video that's posted on TikTok does make it to Facebook. It's posted on Facebook as well. So you can see those there. As far as the spiritual channel, but there's a tantric love channel, there's a cigar channel, and then there's my popcorn channel are all on TikTok as well. But I have those on Facebook as well. I wanted somebody on TikTok. I wanted to invite somebody on TikTok, but it won't. I don't know how to do that. I want to see if it can be heard by the other people on the other channels. Well, it should, because it should go through the volume of it. But any more statements and questions? Because I really like when I get everything set up where I don't have to come here at all. Oh, we're gonna be doing this stuff all the time, like daily. No, I can't commit daily to it because I still have to run a business. Some mornings I still have errands to run, so those errands must be run. And then I have like other appointments. Like tomorrow, I have a medical appointment. Working on that VA. But I am doing three or four videos after this, short videos on TikTok, and based on some statements that people make, post videos on some of the other videos. But I really look forward to people asking questions about growing their spirituality, like understanding how to go within, how to go within, how to understand universal law, how to understand themselves, how to deal with other people. I live in an area where Bethany Church owns a lot and sits on political council. If you don't know them, check it out. Money Not Bible, and gold. And gold floats in the air at that church. The money is a control. The money is a control is why I have problems with the church. Right. I had a problem with a bunch of churches. Actually, I actually went around the churches trying to give them a program that would help them to build the communities around them, that would actually make them more money. You would think that churches, with their love of money, would have done it, but they were so afraid of losing or possibly interfering with their 501s that they were afraid to do it. Because I went to appeal to them, but now there's a church up the street from here. They want to do my business program. And I don't care that a church is doing it. I just care about building our community and financially so that we actually have some say-so in this country and not be in a situation where they can do whatever they want. Because my my Facebook people know. Not Facebook, shit. My YouTube people know. Y'all got about a good 3-4 years of me still being in this country. About 3-4 at max. Then I'm out. I'm leaving. But I want Black people to have a situation where they can grow, and nobody's going to give us 50 acres and a mule. You got to take what you want. I doubted gut and thought. I doubted gut and thought all my life because I had no one to guide me. You doubted your gut, your guts and thoughts? No. Yeah, this is what you got to trust. This is what you got to trust. Trust this first, right? When a situation is happening or you feel something, and you got to trust this in everything. Everything. I'm going to tell you, some people may think that this is crazy or they will think it's superstitious. I would say that. But when I'm putting my beads on in the morning, when I put this copper on, like this one on this morning, I put it initially on my right hand, on my right wrist. And when I put it on there, Mike, I had this negative gut feel. And so I put it on my left. I put it on the left. And that negative gut feel went away. I trust my gut to that level, to the very small things, to every small little detail of, and you should. I'm going to tell you a story why you should. I'll tell you a little quick story why you should. All right. This was in 2016. 2016, yeah. So 2016. All right. Oh, gold floats in the air. Okay, gotcha. 2016. Business had been bad for like 2 years. No, so this was 2017 actually. business had been started going down. My popcorn shop was having a bad year in 2015, 16, 17. I was still struggling. Matter of fact, during this time frame, I was living in the back of my store. I got behind on child support. At the time frame, I didn't know you get behind on child support, they suspend your license. I'm getting ready to leave work, and I was going to go visit my mom. So when I'm, before I came back to the popcorn shop, because I took the office of the popcorn shop, made that into a bedroom. My gut instinct, my gut said, turn right. Take the long way to visit your mom. Don't go the short way and turn right. But my brain rationalized it. This is the shorter route. Take that shorter route. I go right. Take the shorter route. As soon as I make a left, I go right, go to the light, make a left. As soon as I make that left, a police car pulls up behind me. One of the lights on the tail light was out. Now you can say it's racial profiling because that cop was looking dead at me across from the other side. Knew that I was a black man. Pulled up behind me. He never had his blinker on until he saw me turn. Pulled up behind me, pulled me over, tail light out. Ran my license. Saw that child support had suspended my license. I went to jail for 10 days before I can get out because this was on a Friday. So you know how you go on a Friday, you ain't getting out, anytime soon. Lost 10 days of business, which caused me to lose some customers. Had to pay the fees, the fines. Had to pay like $3,000. I had to borrow $3,000 to pay the child support little get out money, and had to pay that back now. So now I'm indebted to child support, and I'm indebted to, the person who gave me the money. And losing 10 days of business at that time frame made me late and behind on paying rent for that month, which got me behind in rent. So it was just like a cascade of things that happened merely because I didn't follow my gut. Now, the thing about it is, also earlier that day, I had told myself, I need to go onto this app and check to see, if I got, just check on my child support. It was just saying, my gut was just telling me, check on your child support, check on your child support. Then my gut told me to go left, don't go right, don't go to this light, but take the long way. But I didn't listen to my gut. And all it wound up costing me way more money and way more time that was lost. After that, I was 100% solid in trusting my gut. I trust my gut for everything. If I there have been people from YouTube, they've come through, YouTube and TikTok, because even on my cigar channel for TikTok, there's been people who's come through here. And when I met them, something didn't sit right with me. So when they started saying that, hey man, let me get your number, we want to call you, chit chat with you, I was like, hell no. I tell them no. And I tell them, man, look, I respect you and nothing against you, but something in my gut is saying not to. So I got to wait for that to subside or understand why not before we do that. So embrace your gut. When your gut tells you something, embrace that. Don't listen to your heart. Don't listen to your mind when your gut is telling you something to do. That is what you follow. If you follow that, you will have a better life at all times. You will always have a better life if you follow that. I want to try something. Well, I keep saying that, but solar plex intuition. Exactly. I trust that thing all the time. All the time I trust it. I'm trying something. I'm going to see if it works. I'm trying to invite somebody on TikTok. I just want to see if it works. Nope.
Hey, Coach.
Hey, Kiki.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Now, hold on. Now, can everybody else hear Kiki on the other platforms? I got the volume up as loud as I can. So y'all let me know if y'all can hear it. Now,
hey, everybody.
I don't know much about vortex math. I've heard about it, but I don't know much about it. Now, Kiki, okay, let me make sure I got you right. You live in Carolina, right?
North Carolina, Raleigh.
Okay. Got it.
now.
I thought that you. Just making sure I got the right person in mind.
The popcorn girl.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Everybody can hear you.
Okay, wonderful. I hope everyone's having a great day. Coach, does your live like automatically ask people to come in the box, or did you purposely ask people to come in the box?
I purposely asked. I don't. I know.
Okay.
I know some people have their setup where I guess you can ask to join it. I have no idea how they do that.
Okay.
But
just making sure you wouldn't put me on the spot about something. I just came in, so I don't even know what y'all talking about.
I put you on the spot because I wanted to make sure everybody else can hear you, so that if I did want to do a show where we got guests or people can talk, at least I know how to do it on TikTok. I got to figure out what is this other thing? Facebook. I think I can invite people on Facebook.
You can invite a lot of people on Instagram too if you're on Instagram.
I don't do Instagram like that.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's cool. I don't either.
Yeah, but I wanted to figure that out. That way, other people may want to say stuff. And then a young lady on Facebook, she told me how to do it. I mean, not Facebook, on YouTube, to download something called Yard Stand. I had to scroll back up to see it, but it was a platform she was saying. So that way, there could be some more interaction. Don't get me wrong, I love the sound of my voice, but it's always good to have other people's thoughts in there.
Definitely. Yeah, I've seen people go live on YouTube. That is something that you can do.
Mm-hmm. So you weren't here earlier? You didn't hear what we was talking about? We was going through Genesis?
No, I can't. I was getting ready to leave because I'm trying to reposition myself for the universe to bring me something. And I was getting ready to leave the house, and I popped in, but I went out because I didn't want to be distracted because I need to get out the door. Mm-hmm. So I was like, you know what? Now that I'm ready to get out the door, I'm going to listen to Coach, see what word he got for me today.
Well, you missed all the Genesis 43 and 44. So you'll have to go to Facebook, my Facebook page, which is the same name, Coach Renz or Why I Left Religion, or YouTube, and you can watch it there. But you said that you were getting ready for the universe to manifest some things. Do you mind sharing what you're doing?
Well, I quit my.
Wait a minute. Say that again. You quit what?
I quit my job.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I can hear.
So my last day of my job was January the 5th, right? So I was talking to a friend last night, and I was talking about how when COVID first hit, you know, everyone went through this, I want to do my own thing. I want to open my own business. Well, it didn't hit me like that because I was in a position where I was making a lot of money. So I was content. I was happy. You know, I was bringing in the money. So almost 3 years later, I'm in the position that everyone else was in 2020 when everyone was like, well, I'll just do this on my own. So last year, what I did was I planted some seeds, and I went ahead and started one 501c3 and 2 LLCs. So now it's like I'm trying to get those to grow. I'm trying to figure out, you know, because I created them, but I didn't do anything with them. So now it's like I'm trying to cultivate and figure out which direction this should go and how do I do this and everything. So I did a lot of cleaning last night, so to speak, through some paperwork, and now I'm about to head out and make eye contact because my understanding is that I need to get outside the house straight up and make eye contact. Be aware, be present in the moment. So I'm about to start practicing some things so I can make sure I can manifest some things before, you know, it's too, I don't want to wait too long, in other words.
No, I'm with you. If you were here earlier, I was talking about how the most powerful thing as far as the laws of the universe are concerned in this matter plane existence that we're in is the power of cause and effect, right? Figuring out what the causation is in order to get your effect is the thing that will give you the keys of power. So, you know, you started the LLC, you started a 501c3. The type of marketing you do, the type of interfacing that you do with people. I don't know what the business is, so I'm being vague, but how you move and who you interact with and how you set things up is going to be the biggest causation in order to get the desired result. If going out and interfacing with people who are going to be able to help you move forward, that's one of the things. But then how you present yourself to them, how is it like in Atlanta? People get fooled in thinking that I'm a black person, I'm gonna come to Atlanta and the money just gonna flow. No, it's not how Atlanta works. Atlanta works in the fashion of people first want to know what can you do for them to benefit them, and then after you benefit them, they will benefit you. So, like when I interface with people, the first keys that I'm looking for is how can I better their situation? How can I make them more money? How can I make them happier? How can I make them more comfortable? The more I do that, then the more returns back to me, because there is a thing of indebtedness that the person would feel if you have done something for them. So that's how I move in business, and even down to the simple things, like even here in my cigar lounge, if I see that somebody that's going to be here for a while, they done bought like 4 cigars, I see their ashtrays getting a little filled up. People just say it's good customer service, but I'll make sure that I keep dumping their ashtray, even though the ones that I have, I can let them smoke 4 cigars and it will be perfectly fine. But I keep this environment of cleanliness and customer service going with them, which makes them feel more comfortable. And then they come back over and over again because they want that feeling over and over again. We sit here, and if they tell me they're working on a business or something like that, usually I charge for business consultation, but I will give them certain things freely that help them build their business. And when they do, they'll keep coming back because they feel like, oh shit, he helped me build my business. I need to go there and help him build his by bringing more people, talking good about it online. And when I come, I'm going to buy even more. Or there's a place across from me. You can technically buy cigars from them, but they'll come over here, buy their cigars, then go over there because they feel like I need to support here because of what I did for them prior. Even for the ones that I've helped them with their marriages, I need to come here, So how you move with these people, and the more you serve them, the better, the more they're going to feel like they need to serve you back.
True.
Do you mind saying what kind of business it is, or is that hush hush right now?
Oh no, it's not hush hush. One of them is one of the LLCs is a life coach, and the other one is a cleaning, corporate. And then the 501c3 is I've been a social worker all my life, so I just wanted to venture out and contract. I really wanted to get a grant to start that because that's my passion. That's where my heart is, to focus on the elderly and the disabled people and their needs. I would be like a link to their needs in society. For example, someone who's got glaucoma and just went blind overnight. I will be their link to whatever they need, any services they need to set up, et cetera, et cetera. So that's where I want to do full time. But the cleaning business is going to have to suffice for now until I can figure out how to get the funding and the grants for that. The Here to Help. It's called Here to Help, but it's here as in a year. ATA, the acronym. So, your phone number changed. You got to give me your new number so I can, or your email so I can. I want to show you some things.
Okay, I don't know how to comment on here.
Just go on my inbox, give me your email address or whatever.
Okay.
Don't put it on here. Just go to my inbox.
So let me give you something to think about. All right. So over your 501, have you already written up and you got your 501?
Already paid, submitted, and received my articles and my EIN and my DUNS. I think it's Duns and Bradstreet. But I still am in the middle of making, drawing up the mission and everything like that.
All right. So, and you are like CEO over your 501, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, financial lesson. Okay.
Okay.
every profit that you make from your coaching and from all the profit that you make it from your coaching and from your cleaning service, donate it to the 501, right?
Okay.
And then pay yourself from the 501. The money you pay yourself from the 501 is either going to be tax-free or a severe decrease in taxation, right?
Okay.
That also give you tax deductions from your business as well, because you're right now for the next 3 years, pay all your profit to the 501. After that, you're going to need to keep some profit into the businesses. But pay yourself but always pay yourself from the 501. Never pay yourself from the other businesses. Always from the 501 to keep your taxes low.
Okay.
Now, also, it's not impossible to get a grant being a new 501, but it is much easier to get a grant when you're a 501 that has already been receiving charitable donations from outside sources, because the people who are reading these in the government who are reading these, one of the first things they look for is, are you already functioning? Are you already doing the charity that your organization is set up for, and to what level you're doing it, and are you receiving donations? Because they're like a bank. They want to put their money into a safer environment, not somebody who they think is just getting the money and they haven't done anything. So if your companies are donating to the 501, they'll feel more secure in giving you the grant over someone else.
Okay.
So pay yourself through your 501 and donate your money from your profits into the 501.
Got you.
And that way it'll be easier. If you don't get a grant this year, it'll be easier. It becomes easier and easier as time goes on for you to get the grant. And once you got a grant, it's real easy to keep getting that grant again and again and again. But keep your taxes low and pay yourself. That's what rich people do. That's why you see all these athletes, one of the first things they do is set up a charity, because we just think they're doing it just for tax benefits for themselves, which they are, but they also set themselves up as a CEO of these of their 501s to make sure that they keep getting more and more money.
Okay. Thank you, Coach. I appreciate it, because that's something I haven't even heard since I've been doing my research.
Right. And this gentleman, Yaju, just said that 501s must make a monthly donation to a charity organization. And that's a true statement. So keep that in mind as well. But definitely keep your taxes low and pay yourself through your charity. So go ahead and start that. So coaching
charity must give to another charity. Is that what he's saying?
Yeah, he's saying you have to give to another charity. I'm not sure about that, but I would at least check it just to be safe, just to make sure.
Okay.
Right. The 501 is a nonprofit organization. Now, you're a 501c3?
Yes.
Right. So you are a charity organization. So just make sure you got all your rules and everything. I don't know everything about a 501. I just know a little bit, but I know enough to be dangerous when it comes to taxes.
Okay.
Because I don't believe in paying taxes.
Gotcha.
Shit. I've successfully avoided paying any taxes since 1991.
Oh, Coach, darn it.
I'm not paying. I'm just not doing it. It hurts my soul to pay taxes.
It hurts mine too.
Yeah, but you definitely want to be able to do that, take advantage of that situation. And then of course, I'm sure you know that, like, as far as coaching and the cleaning service, it's really about getting out there, meeting people for the cleaning, showing them what you can do, demonstrating it. The hardest part about cleaning is, because I used to own a cleaning service, is that somebody's always coming behind you to try to undercut you. So your service needs to be so amazing and immaculate that they rather pay you the higher amount than just go for what's in their wallet. And then coaching is, in today's world, being a social media maven for you, you're a woman. So being a social media maven, like, if even though I have a coaching company, I really don't push it as hard, because I focus, I'm too busy running these two stores. But like, if all this went away, the cigar lounge and that, then I would push my coaching like a champ. I would have classes, start setting up classes on, I don't know what your subject matters are, the type of coaching, but whatever classes you can do, whatever seminars you can do, and building your social media audience first. Well, in the process of getting ready to have classes, building your social media audience and understanding how the algorithms work with the different keywords and, you know, getting on other people's podcasts, all that sort of thing. Like Kevin, my dad Kevin was on here earlier, and I messed with him about it, but I would not have I mean, to me, to some people it's a big audience, to some people it's a small audience, but audience, whatever it is, I would not have the audience that I have if I had not been doing his shows. And I think I did his shows. I know Papa probably knows how long I did them more than I do, but I think it was about 4 years that I was on his show consistently. And because I was on his show consistently, you know, I just saw my numbers just go up, 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 and up. So
yeah.
And then I took a break for like 4 or 5 years because I didn't like I don't like all the debates. You know, I don't like circle debates. I don't mind an intellectual debate, but the circle debates where people just arguing and saying stupid stuff, that gets on my nerve. Yep, Kevin Wesley. Yeah, Denise just asked Kevin Wesley. Yep, Kevin Wesley.
Yes, that's how I met them. Just what do you call it? Binge watching every single last video they put out.
Oh, is that how you found me, through Kevin?
Yes, I binge watched everything, and I was like, and I reached out to all 3 of you guys because at one point it was 3 of you. So I was like, this is awesome. And then I met what's his name? Camaro. What's Camaro's first name?
Camaro?
His last name is Camaro.
I'm not.
He is. He did the slave stories or the
I'm not.
Man, I forgot.
I am not sure.
But he's ruthless. When I met you guys, I said you guys are ruthless, and then I started looking at his. I was going back and forth between y'all videos, and I just was like, wow, he's ruthless. He has the slave stories, everything on YouTube. I forgot his first name. I'll get it to you. But
yeah, I need you to inbox me that.
Anybody who wants to deconstruct from this stuff, if they really are serious, Mr. Camaro, and then he just took a hiatus, and I emailed him, and I was like, no, you can't take a hiatus, and he's on radio shows and everything, but he's in it deep. So, anyways, I'll get that to you.
Yeah, because I remember, like, Denise just reminded me. She just said it was me, Kevin, and Josh, and then and I remember Collie starts coming on there, which is after I left. Well, right when I was leaving was Collie. We had Young Pharaoh. We would do a lot of show with Young Pharaoh and Jamar Milton. Some people who they wanted me to do shows with, I just didn't feel right about doing shows with them, like Sinetta. And what's the guy who got in trouble a year or so ago? Shit. Messing with the little young girl. I forgot his name.
Oh.
He's the dude. He just got in trouble messing with a young girl.
He in the news?
He was down in Miami messing with some little young girl. One of the daughters of his harem.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, Brother Polite. Thank you, Denise. Yeah. Denise, you just own it. Denise over here, she's just snapping them out. Yeah. And see, that goes back to what I was talking about your gut instinct. My gut instincts told me, because I was supposed to be on a couple of shows with Polite, and I was just like, it was Polite and Sinetta, and I was like, I don't want to, I don't feel right being on a show with them, and I'm glad I didn't, because it was like I saw the hypocrisy of it. Yep, and William Jones also, but I saw the hypocrisy. I was like, something wasn't sitting right with Polite, something wasn't sitting right with Sinetta. Nothing against them personally, but it just wasn't sitting right with me. But then as time will reveal if your instincts are correct, because Sinetta was all like, I'm cool with Polite. Then he went against Polite. And then when Polite got in trouble, he was like, I told y'all, but you was trying to be cool with him a couple years ago. you know, when y'all were both at like equal levels. But
Exactly.
and then as soon as that mess happened, he was trying to be his friend again, and then he went against him when people were going. I was like, man, y'all wishy washy. Like, stick to one side. You know,
too much.
you know, and you know, I haven't heard anything. Denise saying that he's coming to the right mindset now. I mean, not Polite, that Sinetta, but I haven't listened to him in probably about 4 years, 3-4 years. Well, ever since when all that stuff was going down, I stopped listening to him then. Oftentimes has great information, but dealing with them personally, I just couldn't deal with them personally. So I had to just walk away from that.
I'm so glad you run your show like that, Coach, because you're so genuine.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. I mean, you know, other people, I ain't gonna name their names. They wanted me to do things to build bigger platforms, but I was like, nah, I can't do that, because then I would not like myself. Yeah, and Denise just said that young Pharaoh flipped out a bit, dropped off, and kind of coming back. Yeah, Pharaoh did. He went through something. I don't know what that young man went through. I hope I'm glad he's coming back around. But it's something that he went through. I don't know personally, but just in his videos, he just started going off the deep end a little bit. What happened to begging for change? I enjoyed that, brother. Begging for change. That's shit. You saying begging for change made me forget his name. That's the brother out in Arizona. She may be speaking of Camaro Ahu. I cannot say that. Ahau. I don't know why I'm not able to pronounce that for some reason. My phonetics are not working. But yeah, young Pharaoh. Well, I first couldn't because I curse, but I don't curse a lot. But it was like every third word, and then I don't use the N word ever, and that was like pouring out of his mouth like water. And so after we did the first show with him, I was just like, I can't do a show with that guy because I can't focus on what we're talking about, because that it's like nails on the board for me. But I try to just keep things like just straight on the up and up. If I'm wrong about something, I'll come back and make a video and say, hey, I was wrong about this. If somebody can show me that I'm wrong. So I always stay open to that sort of thing. I try to keep it genuine, but I'm going to keep it true to myself as well, more than anything else. Because as I say all the time, these videos, initially I started making them so that if something happens to me, my kids have access to the knowledge. What they do with it is a whole nother story. But yeah, money, Denise is saying how, this phone keep ringing. Money can often trip people up, And honestly, I think that's what happened to Polite. I think he started getting into the money, and the money started making him feel like he was invincible and that he can just do whatever he wants to do. But like they say, money shows more of who you are. So, but I think the money just got to him. And it may have happened to Pharaoh as well, because I know he started making some good money as well. So, I don't know. I'm staying in my lane. Staying in my lane. But yeah, it's your businesses. It's good to step back and then assess everything, assess your life, because you might as well enjoy it and do the things that you want to do, you desire to do, instead of forcing yourself to stay into a gig that you really don't want to be there, or you don't like the situation. Just change it. Change is the constant of the universe, but just be the causation. Be the cause. Always try to be the causation of your change. Don't allow somebody else to do it. Don't allow outside influences to do it. Make sure that your gut feeling, you're following your gut, and then back your gut up with your emotions and your logic. And as you do that, those things will manifest themselves even more, because then you're going to take more definitive actions towards reaching whatever your goal is. And the more and more you reach it, the more you become better at cause and effect, and at following your instincts and backing those things up. And you will just see your life begin to flourish even more and more and more. So
thank you, Coach. I look at I know this message from you to everyone, but just so everyone will know, I've seen coaches, what he speaks is exactly the way he lives, and that's why, I uplift him, because he's just, to me, he's just amazing, because I look at him opening up his businesses. He's staying true to what he talks about on here. He's just an awesome man all the way around. And Coach, as I always say when we interact, I really do appreciate you.
Oh, you talking about me?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you. I was like, who is this brother that you talking about? I need to go follow him.
No. Like you are just one of the most awesome. When I started deconstructing, you're just so. I apologize for the background noises, but you're just so genuine, and you are consistent. And even though you say this is about your children in the future, so that they will have the things that they need recorded. I mean, you're helping so many people along the way, even though you may not hear it. That's why I make sure you hear it from me. That just meeting you through these videos, etc., and in person just has helped me along the way. And I can't even put it in words. And I just want to say thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. If I was light skinned, I'd be red right now.
You are man. I'll be there next week. My birthday is next Wednesday, so I'll be there next week.
Really? So y'all heard her, right? She said she's gonna be here next week. What day you coming?
I probably will come. I will probably come on the 31st, but if I can fit the 30th down, if I can drive down on Monday, I might. So I should be there the whole of next week, because I get a face beat for my birthday on the morning of the 1st.
You get a what? A face?
A face feed. I'm so excited.
A face feed?
Yeah, I'm gonna beat BEAT face beat.
A face beat.
I'm gonna get my makeup done.
My
makeup done.
Oh, I've been saying, who gonna beat you in your face? That don't sound fun.
I'm so excited. I've been wanting to do this the last few years for my birthday, so I'm finally getting to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll be down there. But I just wanted to make sure you get your flowers, because I know you're not looking for them. But I believe in letting people know when they are helpful, and you have been a solid rock ever since I found you, and I just appreciate it.
Thank you. Now, if you're here and it's 10 o'clock in the morning, you're gonna be sitting right next to me while I do this show on a.
That's fine with me.
So I'm putting that out there. Whether it's this is next week.
Yeah, next week.
So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, next week on Tuesday we'll continue with our What's Wrong with the Bible Genesis series. On Wednesday it'll be a relationship show on my relationship channels, as well as my regular YouTube. And then on Thursday it will be back on something more spiritual.
Okay.
And you know what? I know me, because I have so many interests. The Thursday might be spiritual / business, economics. Because
yes, I love business economics.
Yeah. So if you're available on any of those days at 10 a.m., you know where the shops are.
Yep.
I will rope you in.
Yep. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Not a problem. I don't mind co-hosting.
Yep. Exactly. What did Denise say? Denise said, are you following WEF? I don't know what WEF is. And then what's wrong with the real you? I don't know what.
Huh?
Well, she asked, what's wrong with the real you? And then, are you following WEF?
She's probably asking me about my face beat.
Oh.
Tell her I'm just curious. Tell her I'm just, it's just something different.
Oh, she can hear you.
Okay, well, Denise, it's just a little something different that I'm doing for my birthday. There's nothing wrong with me.
Oh. No, there's nothing wrong with her face. She's a beautiful woman. And and let me put it this way. I think that all women are beautiful. in some form or fashion. But she's a attractive woman, so I'm put it that way. All right. But yes, I understand how y'all like to do those makeup sessions. I don't know what face beats, but so now that makes a sense. It making sense to me. I've seen so many people who post like I got my face, I got that beat today, and I was thinking that they heard some music or something. I didn't know what the hell they was talking about. Got it. Now I'm with it.
Oh my God.
And WEF means World Economic Forum. I know I haven't, but I'll look that up. Most of the economic stuff I look at American economics, but I also look at African economics. Since I'm leaving y'all and moving my happiness over there in about 3-4 years, I need to know where I'm going and what my opportunities are.
Exactly.
Because I am seeing there are far better opportunities for Black people in Africa than there are in America. And I got to go get some of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know that's right, Coach.
I can't stay here with y'all. I love y'all. But I gotta go.
Look, you got TikTok now, so you can stay in contact.
Yeah, I'll still be doing these kind of things, but I got to get out of here.
I know that's right.
I'm
surprised that more of us don't want to leave. I'm like, what's the attachment? Like, why are we so attached to this place?
Well, most people, how we see immigrants come over to America and they do great. But if you think about it, those immigrants who come to America are a very small minority of people who are actually leaving their country. Most people are going to die in the country that they were born in because that's what they know. It's the misery that they know. And they feel safe in that misery. It's only when you can get out of that mindset that people will actually leave a country. So when I owned a gym, I used to tell my clients when I first meet them, I have to find your pain point. And they never understood that at first, but your pain point is what is so painful that will make you change how you live your life. Like to give you an idea, one lady, she had been promising, and she used to get on my nerves, but she has been promising her kids because she wouldn't do my program, and I fired her like 3-4 times. But she always talked about how she promised her sons that when they get tall enough, she's going to take them to Six Flags and they're going to ride all the big people ride. So her sons finally got big enough. And when they went to Six Flags, she was too big for them to lower the bar. So her sons had to ride by themselves, but they were happy but sad at the same time because they really wanted to do this with their mom. So that experience became her pain point. I had people where a mother or a father pass away because of diabetes or something health related, and that became their pain point. So when people don't leave because they haven't really hit their pain point to push them over the edge of saying that, what, somewhere else is better than here. I can't stay here anymore. And people have varying degrees of what their pain points are. It'd be great. It'd be great if everybody changed their lives because they just desire to have something greater, but they don't. They got to hit a pain point. So that's why most of them are never going to leave. They're going to stay here. The only other way that people move like that is you would have to see 18% of the Black people in America leave America, go to Africa, and have a better quality of life. Now, because it's become a thing, it becomes like a movement, then people will move because they see somebody else go and do it. Well, they have to see a certain number of people go and do it. Only about 1 to 3% of people will just go and do something new. It's called the law of innovation of diffusion. And it takes that 15-18% of people to do something in order for it to turn into a movement where people do it out of joy. But most people wait for a pain point before they leave. So that's why they're not going. You can show, I tell people in here all the time, right now, Zambia has a program where, is it Zambia or Zimbabwe? Zimbabwe has a program right now where they're saying, if you are from the diaspora and you come to Africa, come to Zimbabwe, work with the local chieftain, they will give you land and you have to work with them to cultivate that land. And they'll give it to you. I can tell you that. I can tell people that. I can shout it. It's You can easily find this on YouTube, because that's why I find a lot of stuff. You can easily find it on YouTube. But people are not going there in droves because they're afraid. But they're offering you, here's the land. All you gotta do is help cultivate it, and the people are gonna work with you. So it's not like you out there on 15 acres and you doing everything by yourself. You got people working with you, and you're in charge of it. Because for them, it's a win-win situation. It's helping them to grow economically in the world. And I'm definitely going because 70% of their exports is tobacco, and hardly any of that is cigar tobacco. So my happy ass is going, is looking into that one, but we won't take it. People are not taking advantage of that. Ghana just reinstituted their year of return, since they are saying they're done with COVID. They're changing over to a gold standard. So in about 10 years, the value of their money is going to be extremely high. They're building chocolate manufacturers and gold manufacturing, refining over there. And then you got where 3 or 4 countries just told the world that you're not going to just buy all raw material of lithium. You're going to have to build manufacturing, refining, and finished product in our countries if you want our lithium. So the African leadership is changing drastically and making it easier and more accessible for us to go there and do something. But we're not taking advantage of it, and we're not going to until we see a plethora of people go and do it. But all of that is right there. And you're not even pioneering. The old saying, pioneers get slaughtered, settlers get the gold. It's at the settling stage now. Right? So the gold is there now. And if you have more money and you have platforms, you have things you want to do, things you want to build, it becomes easier when you have the money. Like your 501 can be supported greatly if you was there and you had the money, to do it. And it doesn't mean you can't do anything here. There'll still be things that I do here in America, because I do love my people, but I'm just not going to live with y'all. I got to go.
Oh. Did you say you're not going to live with us?
No. No. Look, it's funny. The people who come into the lounge, they pick on me because, there's always some woman. There's always been some woman who wants to talk to me, right? Want to get to know me. And they'll trip out because, like, the third question out my mouth is, can you move to Africa? Because I'm not staying. And they're like, well, and I tell them right off the bat, because they're like, well, what if everything is going great here and we're all in love and all this kind of stuff and we just love each other? I'm like, look, love nor marriage will keep me in America.
I know that's right.
You get married to me and all of a sudden flip the script on something. Well, I don't want to go. Bye. I'll see you later. So I'm very, like, when I'm talking to people, when people try and talk to me like that, I was like, when I was dating, I'm not dating right now, but when I was dating, I was very serious about that. Like, look, if you don't want to go, we ain't going. We don't need to keep talking.
Which country did you decide on, or have you decided?
I haven't decided yet because there's going to be at least about 3 more years before I leave. Mm-hmm. And so I have to see how the economics are changing in those countries. But right now I'm looking at, the countries that I'm looking at to live in. I'll do business in other countries, but the ones I'm looking to live in was going to be Senegal, Ghana, Togo, but Benin is looking really good. And Tanzania. Rwanda would be my first choice, but Rwanda is landlocked, and I need to be close to a beach. I need to be close to water.
You sound like me.
That's a personal thing. I got to be close to some water, so it has to be a coastal country. But those are one that if somebody, like, let's say you was an IT person, I would tell you to go to Rwanda. If you was in the transportation, Rwanda, Botswana, South Africa, Ghana are good countries for transportation. So relative to what you want to do, some of the countries are better than others. Lifestyle wise, you can find a modern industrialized lifestyle in any of those countries. My middle daughter, because she's into farming, she is looking at going to Zimbabwe. I just can't convince her to grow tobacco because she like tobacco. That's even though she'll smoke a cigar with me, she's such a environmentalist that it drives me insane. But
someone mentioned Kenya. Have you ever thought about Kenya?
Oh, Kenya's
This person would like.
Kenya would be great, but they're landlocked.
Oh, okay.
Kenya doesn't have a coastline, I don't think. I gotta have a coastline.
Gotcha.
Like my actual preference, honestly, my preference would be Botswana. That would be my preference. But they landlocked. I'm not going. The opportunities in Botswana are tremendous. But that landlocked thing. And I know if you're rich, you can always fly to somewhere like I forgot the closest. You can always fly to a coast, but no, I want to be able to just say, you know what, I think I want to go spend a couple hours at the with some water.
Exactly.
But, so I need to be able to get there.
Design.
Yeah, I have a guy comes in here, African guy from Nigeria. He wants me to go to Lesotho, which is a small little country inside of South Africa, but the closest beach is 4 hours. I think it's 4 hours by plane, or I don't remember if it's 4 hours by plane or 4 hours by road, but it's 4 hours either way you look at it. I ain't doing it. I told him no. Hold on for a second.
But what makes Benin attractive? I know you said Benin is looking real good. What makes that? What things have you found out about that country?
Well, so economically, your American dollar goes a lot far. It goes far, and I'll still have American companies going. The coastal cities are very industrialized. Their transportation system is great. Their government is very stable. But mainly after that, it's the economic about all the different economic opportunities in Benin, and most people in the diaspora aren't looking at Benin. So it's like, let me get in there before like the rush is in Ghana. Everybody, I want to go to Ghana. I want to go to Kenya. They rush into those countries and rush into South Africa. But it's like, let me go where I have a greater opportunity to climb the ladder faster and higher. So that's one of the things. And the weather. Like one reason why I won't go to Lesotho is because it gets cold. I'm not doing the cold.
No, not an option.
I'm putting my jacket in a glass box with a sign that says "Never to be worn again."
I love it.
I'm not doing that. Hold on, this guy. I said this guy. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see if it's your face. But have you taken a blood test to see which African countries you're from? No, I've never done a blood test because about 20 years ago, I was lucky enough that my family, the paperwork for on both sides of my family was tremendous. So I was able to discover that my father's family, through going from the Ohio River Basin, through England, through Italy, come from Senegal and more specifically Mali. And then, so they were Senegalese and Mali. And then my mother's family are Nigerian from the paperwork I was able to find. For most people, it's hard to find paperwork, but I was able to find that. So I never did a blood test. But yeah, but I got to go. I'm not going now. I can go to Senegal, but I'm not going to Nigeria. I mean, no way. I'll go to Nigeria. It's too many goddamn. Too many people. Too much back and forth with the government. When I did go visit Nigeria, I had to pay like 15 bribes, in the week that I was there, and it's harder to climb the ladder in Nigeria. There's already a lot of business in Nigeria. I mean, Nigeria is a huge business hub. Now, if you were looking for a place to do business to business, South Africa and Nigeria are great. They're great because they're so modernized and have so much business going on. It's great. But even at that, I would still choose Rwanda over them too. President Kagame has done a an incredible job with Rwanda. And by the time they finish with the East African Federation and get that formalized, then you'll have, I think it's 9 countries now, 9 countries that will become one country, and they will become the most economic, financial, and military power in all of Africa at that point. So Rwanda would be great. It's a great country. It would be a great country to go to business to business, and IT, definitely IT and finances, because they're becoming like the Singapore of Africa. Like Singapore used to be a very poor, impoverished country until they started handling most of the financial transactions through Southwest Asia, and now Singapore is like amazing. Rwanda has been following a similar process of becoming the IT and financial centers of Africa, especially East Africa, which is one reason why they have been able to pull themselves, you know, up the power chain so quickly. And that's been through President Kagame. He's done an amazing job. Some people don't like some of his stuff, try to call him a dictator and all that, but that's just haters and Europeans who don't like the fact that this black man is making Rwanda for Rwandans, making Africa for Africans. And they are inviting to the diaspora. So
you're so knowledgeable.
Just a nerd.
And you know what? Love it. Love it. When single women, get you a nerd.
Now it does backfire though sometimes.
How?
Okay, I don't like naming names, but I was with this woman for like 5 years, right? And about year 2, she started arguing all the time. Like even when she's wrong, she would just be arguing. And of course, I raised my kids to research and critically think and to know what they're talking about. So we would be in the car, my kids would be in the car, and the kids were little. I mean, I'm talking like 12 years old. And we might be talking about something historical, whatnot, and she would just argue, dead wrong, but argue. And it was about the 3rd year, and I asked her, I said, why do you keep arguing so much, even when you're wrong? And she came out her mouth and said that you and your kids know so much that sometimes I just want to be right.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm mean. I said, well, hell no. In order for you to be right, you're going to have to be right. I'm not going to tell my kids to let you win an argument just because you want to be right. And I'm not going to let you win an argument with me just because, well, discussion. But there's never an argument. Just because you want to be right. You got to be right because you're right. So it has backfired, and other people, let me tell you, there's other people as well, right? Where when they, when we're in like the dating process, I ask the questions, why you like me? Like, what is it about me that you like? Oh, I love your mind. And I get that, I love your mind. And then it's cool when we ain't dating, but as soon as we start dating, all of a sudden, it becomes a problem. Because see, okay, like right now, we're having this interaction, right? Interaction. And, oh, get you a nerd. Oh, Coach Renz, so smart. It's cool right now because you're just getting like an hour of it, But when you're dating me, and I'm one of those, quality time is very important to me. Oh, I'm in your face all the time. We talking a lot.
Wrong with that?
Yeah, but then after a while, it's like, he know too much, and I don't study all that. So some of them became, felt like they couldn't date me because they didn't feel like they knew as much stuff. And because I study, I'll research anything. Like, do you know where hush puppies came from?
No way. Where?
So you had some French nuns in Louisiana who created hush puppies. They called them something else at the time. I forgot the name they called them, but they called them hush puppies. And those ladies, when explorers would go out, they would take the hush puppies with them. Now, also those explorers, and they would call something else, right? But the explorers, when they were cooking the meals, the dogs would start howling and making all this noise. So they would throw those little things out there to the dogs to eat because it would hush up the dogs. So they became hush puppies.
See, that, you know what? Like I said before. Women, get you a nerd. If you're a single lady, what other platform are you on right now?
YouTube
Facebook.
and Facebook.
You on all three of them right now?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Anybody single out there on all three of these platforms listening to my coach, please get you a nerd. I promise you. Just I'm a sponge. So if I have a nerd in my life, the only thing I'm gonna do is shut up and listen and participate. Like I would rather have a nerd than to have the other options.
Exactly.
But you guys are fantastic. I mean, absolutely wonderful men that sit and read and research and find out things, and then to share it with your woman. I think that's golden. That's golden to me.
Yeah, I mean, most that is that. Okay, I agree, and
it doesn't change. Some women like that, so it doesn't change for all women.
Yeah, like the young lady I'm in a relationship right now, she's like that as well. Like we was driving to North Carolina, and like I didn't tell anybody that I was dating her for a while because too many people be getting all in my business in this cigar lounge. But we was driving to North Carolina and we were just having a conversation about something. Like Denise just said, she liked to read about stuff like yo-yo, where yo-yo come from. But we'll be talking about something and some trivial thing will come up and we'll be like, I wonder where that came from. And then she'll be on that Google and looking it up and we'll have a whole 30, 45-minute conversation about where some minor thing came from. But I like that. And that's how I am as well.
The best conversation. That's the best conversation.
But most of the people I've ever dated, like this summer, over the summer, I was like dating like a crazy person. And when I come out with the I know frivolous though. When I with that little minor thing that we just accustomed to, and I say, oh, well, this came from that, and this is where that came from. This is why we do this word and that word. They like at first they're like, oh, intriguing, but then they be like, oh my gosh. So yeah, it backfires on me sometimes.
She didn't deserve you, Coach.
Right. And Denise said that nerds don't like to just talk to themselves. Interaction is important. And exactly. Interaction is very important. I say I do this for my kids, but there's also that part that I do it because there are other like-minded people out there like me. So it's like, okay, if I can pass along some information, that's great. I get irritated by the people who are just trolls, but yeah, when I'm to be, I literally have people, and it's not just people I'm dating. I date, right? I was told by a person who comes to my cigar lounge that there are people who say they don't want to come here because I think I know too much.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And
they just not part of the tribe.
Yeah, and I told that guy, I said, look, I can't help it if they dumb. You come in, like, a cigar lounge environment is different than like when you come to the popcorn shop, it's like ha ha, he he, fun. But when you come in here and we talking trash, if you say some jacked up, we finna talk about this. It's all about conversations in here. So yeah, I'm sorry, not sorry that I know a lot about a lot. So get over it. And they just be, right. And when people start that conversation with, well, I feel like, I said, I don't care about your feelings. What do you know?
Yeah, tell them we don't do feelings.
Yeah, and jokers get mad. They get mad. So that's why I had to find my community. So I'm like, I don't care. But then there are people who come here because they like that. They want to hear stuff. I have people who come here and say that, I like coming here because every time I walk out the door, I've learned something. So I take the good, throw away the bad, don't really care. That person is not going to make or break me, And I do the same thing when it comes to dating. Some of them pick on me because it's like they'll say something stupid like, who you dating this week? Because I cut them off. I'm just serious. Like, a woman said to me after about 2 weeks of talking that she want to have a baby. Hey,
oh gosh,
girl. At the time I was 50. Girl, I'm 50 years old. You might well go on some of that. Ain't no reason for us to keep talking.
I know. Not too bad.
I pick on the dudes who walk in here. I got these couple guys. I'm surprised they're not here already. I'm just going as long as if somebody comes in, I have to stop. But they like 50 years old, got 5-year-olds and 7-year-olds. I'm like, y'all crazy as hell. It'd be like 2:00. Oh, I gotta go pick the baby up out of school. I'm like, shh. I ain't having no kids. I got 3 grown. Oh yeah, that's like my 4th question. Do you have kids? Well, my second question is, do you have kids and are you planning on having some more? If they say they want some more, we done. If they say they got kids, how old are those children? Because if they are not of a certain age, you got to go.
You don't be hurting people's feelings, do you?
Yeah. I sure do.
Get over it.
I do. I mean, I'm just saying, it ain't hurting their feelings too much. It might just hurt their pride. Let me say that. I'm hurting their pride. Because they walk in, they see me, that we have conversation. They're like, oh, he seems nice and all this kind of stuff. And, you know, I give everybody as much attention as I possibly can to make them feel welcome and feel comfortable. And I'm a flirt. I can admit that. I'm a big ass flirt. So I might, you know, some of them get the wrong idea. You know, they should recognize that I flirted with you and I'm flirting with this person over here and I'm flirting with this person over here, because it's about 30% women that come into the shop. So you see me flirting with all y'all. So why you don't feel special? Don't feel special. Don't feel special like that level of special. Feel special because I'm making you feel welcome and comfortable and making you feel attractive and all that kind of stuff. But don't feel so special you think that I'm trying to get with you, because that's not happening. You know, but then when they try and they find and I ask them a few questions and I'd be like, nope, that's not gonna work. You know, we're not doing that. Then yeah, they get in their feelings a little bit, but they'll be all right. There's somebody out there for them. It ain't me.
Are you gonna practice poly when you move to Africa?
That would be relative to whom I'm moving. So like, let's say the young lady I'm in a relationship with now. If me and her continue to grow and we work out, then no. Because we talked about that in the very beginning. Because I explained to her, I'm open to poly. I don't have to have poly. So we're good. But let's say she mess it up, which is what I always tell her, which is what I tell every woman actually that I've ever dated or married. You gonna mess it up, it ain't gonna be me. I've only messed up one relationship. And I learned my lesson. So, and I tell her that. I say, you know, don't mess it up. You better act right. But if I go there and I'm single, I probably will. I'll be very open to it, and I probably will. Because I am open to it. I do see the benefits of it, especially economically. I don't want to sound like I'm all about the money, but economically, I see a great benefit to it. So I am open to that in that regard. You know, sexually is great. You know, I have an insatiable appetite, so that's fine. And then the other part is just building a community, you know, especially at my age. See, at my age, to practice poly would mean that I'm practicing poly with women who already have kids. And those kids are at least high school age kids at minimum. And well, let me rephrase, because I'm 51 now. So they're at least 11th grade or 10th, 11th grade level kids. So we're not going to PTA no more. But it's about building a community around those kids, the grandkids, the family, and creating, you know, truly creating a generation of family and a generation of wealth. So I find that part of it interesting. And I do believe that I have the capacity to be able to manage a poly relationship. I think a lot of people, some people get into it and they don't have some men and women get into it, but they don't have the maturity or the ability to manage it correctly. But I feel that and I'm gonna say I feel. Now, I know that I do have that capacity. Oh, Kevin has been trying to get me to do that for a minute. He's been trying, you know, he's like, man, you'll be perfect for it. Like, If it happens, it happens. Yeah. But yeah, and I don't have any problem with women who practice it either. The other way. If you can get two dudes to practice poly with you, go right on ahead. I'm not that dude, but well, because the dynamics of it, I don't think that you can have, and even though these people argue the term, alpha male, beta male, Charlie male, delta male, I do believe in those terms to a certain degree. But if you have two men you cannot have two alpha males in a poly relationship. It's just not going to work, right? Because when you look at the entirety of the animal kingdom, there is never two alpha males. One of the alphas got to die or go away, right? Now, can you have two betas or two Charlies? Well, not two Charlies. Charlies are horrible. Can you have two betas or two deltas? You sure can. Can you have a beta and a delta? You sure can. You can have those. But a woman is not going to have two alphas. She's going to have to run that relationship. There's no co-regency between the two men. You got to have that woman. She has to be the one who runs that relationship.
Wow.
Now,
sounds like a lot to me.
It can be, but it can also be great. Every time I visited Kevin and I get, of course, because me and him are cool, I get more of an inside look than what people would just see on social media. So I see their ability to conflict resolutions. I see their ability to share and to, share in every aspect of life. I see how well everything is organized and managed. So, now that doesn't mean things can't change, because change is constant of the universe. People change. I'm not saying that they'll be happy forever, but in their current state, everything is very well organized and managed. And no one, not that I can tell, no one is missing out on anything, because everybody's getting what they desire at the level to which they desire it. So it can be beautiful if it's done right. And some people
I would have to deconstruct first.
Well, not only would you have to deconstruct from religion, you'd have to deconstruct from Western culture to do it.
That's what I'm talking about. I've already deconstructed for religion. But I would have to deconstruct from how I was raised, as far as just one man, one woman. I would have to literally, because I would not act right. I would not act right. My husband would probably have me in the kitchen table talking to me almost every day. So why are you not home? Why you not? I wouldn't know how to act in that relationship. Somebody would have to have a lot of patience with me.
Well, it would depend. See, it depends on who you are. So you may not be the one that's at home. It may be the other woman that's at home. So you may have a financial responsibility to the family, whereas the other woman has a household responsibility to the family. Right? So you and the husband could be the ones that are building the financial wall, the financial foundation, whereas the other one is taking care of all the household stuff. But instead of just one check, you got two checks. Instead of you got two people who got a check and both of them are coming home trying to work all day and take care of the house, you got somebody who's taking care of the house. So everybody is in their own element of peace, and everybody's in their own element of contributing. So it's relative to the grouping as to how everybody can function in. So you could function, you just have to, basically everybody got to be in their lane. And it's up to the husband to be able to figure out which lane everybody's going to function in order for it to work. So you may not be at the kitchen table getting the tongue lashing, because you would be functioning how you're supposed to function in that relationship. Do you do housework right now?
I do my own. I live alone, so I just do what's supposed to be done by myself.
Right. So in that situation, you wouldn't be doing any housework at all, for the most part. I'm sure there are times where you help here, help there. I haven't always. I've done certain things in the house, but it wasn't my responsibility. It's just like, she's doing this. Let me go ahead and help her out a little bit. Let me go ahead and do this. Let me go ahead and do that. But I do it with her knowing that this is not something you should expect me to do all the time. I just do it from whenever, from whatever time frames I do it. But I never expected her to go out and make any money either. And anytime that she has, our budget of running our financial budget of running the household, her money didn't play a part in it, in the sense of the money she makes. It's her money. All the money is our money, but it's not. She doesn't. Her money, the money that she makes, generally will go towards investments, fund, savings, things of that nature, so that we can build that financial protection. So that if anything ever happens, we got money to handle it. We're not caught by emergencies or anything of that nature. Because to me, that's the man's responsibility. It's not always like the female lions, they do most of the hunting, right? It's not that man's responsibility in a poly situation. He doesn't have to make all the money, but it's imperative that he manages everything. And it's not that he got to manage it in a certain way that everybody begging him for money. Hell no. But the system has to be set up where everybody gets a fair share. Everybody gets to do what they desire to do. Nobody's asking anybody for money, but everything is taken care of. Like for me, when I'm like 10 toes down with somebody, one of the first things I do is I show them, here's the budget. Here's my budget system. Your money's going into this budget system. Now, this is how it's ran. All right. You see how it's ran? Here it is. You go do it. I don't want to pay. I don't want to deal with it. I'm just checking it. I might check it every month or every so often, but I'm not dealing with it. I have a problem paying the electric bill. I think electricity should be free. So I don't want to pay it. You leave me to pay it, it's going to be late. So, because I feel physical pain when I got to pay bills. I got to pay a bill today. I don't want to. It's going to hurt my feelings. But, I put everything on automatic so I don't feel it as much until I look at my bank account and see it was taken out. But I'm going to give that. Oh, here you go. You rent. Whichever one is the best at running finances, that's who I'm giving the finances to. You run it. All right. Every month, here's your allowance. People hate when I use the term allowance, but I don't care. It is an allowance. Here's your allowance. Here's your allowance. Here's my allowance. Now, you can spend your allowance on whatever you choose to spend your allowance on. You don't have to ask anybody any questions about it. That's your money to go do whatever you like. And then here's the household budget. In this household budget, these are how all the bills and the clothes and, for a lot of the ladies, this your nail and hair and all this stuff is in that budget. Here's that. Pay all that stuff. I don't ever want to see that. And then here's the fun money. Actually, in my relationships, where it's gotten to that degree, when it comes to the fun money, I'm the one who's usually coming up towards the end of the month, and I'm saying something like, do we have enough? A new movie is coming out. Do we have enough money to go to the movies? Or they got jazz at the High Museum. Do we got enough money in the fun money account to go to the High? I'm usually the one that's asking permission from whoever permission to go spend the fun money. There's only two accounts I ever care about. All right. And the two accounts I care the most about is my allowance, so I can go play golf. And I care about the investment account. The rest of the accounts, hey, whatever, I show up in as long as you're doing the budget right. If I trust you enough, you're doing the budget right, I'm good. Denise, Denise, she said that she admires Kevin's family. They seem organized and happy, and that I would love to do poly if I could find another female for me and my husband. Oh, go ahead on with your bad self.
Shoot, Denise. All right now.
Yeah. It ain't, I'm tell you, it ain't hard. It's not hard to find, Denise. It's not hard to find somebody. It may be hard to find somebody that matches, but you know what? I'm not saying that. It's not even hard to find somebody that matches, because with the whole social media thing, you're more open to just your local area. If memory serves, I think you said that you were in California, but people are willing to move if they have the right connection in poly. You just have to actively go search it out, And I'm sure if you've already had that conversation with your husband, y'all can find somebody. I tell you, if I was single, I mean, I'm single because I'm not married, but if I was single, I just put it out there. I won't poly. And these are my criteria right here. These are my standards. the two women gonna have to become sister wives. Y'all gotta be friends. Y'all can't be enemies. We ain't gonna have no fighting. Y'all gonna have to be friends, and this is how the money gonna work, and this is this is how the house gonna work. I just put everything out there and be like, so if you can't do this, don't apply. don't apply. And as far as physical, this is the kind of woman that I like. As far as intimacy, this type of intimacy I like. I'm open to other stuff, but this is my foundation. I'm accepting applications. I mean, I would just put it out there. I would. I'd probably catch a lot of hell, but I put it out there. She said the problem is that she lives in Jamaica, but now I'm in America, headed home in 2 months. So you live in Jamaica.
I want to move to Jamaica.
You know what? You beat me to it. I was just gonna say, girl, you crazy. You know what I mean? Folk would be willing to move to Jamaica. Like,
yeah, tell me what to do.
You know how cold it is outside right now?
I know that's right.
See? Oh, so half the year she's in America, the other half of the year she's in Jamaica. Are both of y'all in Jamaica? Both of y'all are moving together or separate? And what part of the year? See, you got to know all them kind of things. And she talking about she in Vermont. Oh, hell no. Is it wintertime? Vermont.
How do y'all even find out about these places? We're in the U.S. and we don't even want to be in Vermont. How do y'all even find out about that?
I was supposed to go to a job interview in Vermont, and it was in February of that year. I got to the airport. I stepped outside the airport. I called them up and I said, I'm not taking this job. I got back on the plane.
I know that's right.
I did. I said,
we don't do that.
Yeah, because I was only supposed to, I had a round trip. I flew up there, and there was like 6 hours in between my flight going back. I just stayed in the airport for 6 hours.
Oh, that's right.
I stepped outside that dang on airport. I was like, hell no. It's cold as hell up here. And I was the only black person in the airport. So I was like, no.
No, that's a hard no.
Denise, if you're in Vermont during the wintertime, that's a hard one.
Exactly. Now, whenever I hear about any Caribbean person going up any further north than North Carolina, I'm concerned about them.
Because all they know is New York.
They need to find out about Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and Florida.
Yeah. Oh. Now Denise has an interesting situation. She's the only one that's up there half the year. Her husband did come up for the new year. So she's up there from November to April. You're up there in the worst time of year. So you would also have to be cool with your sister wife being in Jamaica while you're gone. Now, y'all would have to have some deep understanding and respect going on in order for that to work, because that time frame that you're gone, you're missing out on the relationship development that's going on in Jamaica. I'm not saying that those two will become closer than you two are, but as long as you're cool with that, as long as y'all keep that communication going, and both of them are coming to visit you. I'm gonna tell you right now, if I was in Jamaica and you was in Vermont, I ain't coming to visit you. You coming to visit me.
I'm not coming to visit Denise.
No, you come to Denise. You're gonna have to fly to Jamaica. Nobody going. I go to Vermont when it's different if you was there in the summertime. God dog, you there in the wintertime.
I know that's right.
She said we can take turn coming to work, manage the farm we have in Jamaica. Okay, that works. Oh, you got a farm in Jamaica. What kind of farm? What y'all growing in Jamaica? But
I know that's right.
But I cannot do it. See, but that could work for you. You just have to figure out. That's all you have to do, Denise, is figure out how it's going to work for you. There are people. There are actually black people who like Vermont. They like it cold. I'm not one of them. Don't let my hatred for the cold influence you left or right. You got cows, goats, and pigs. Woo! You need your farm girl.
Wow.
Oh my goodness, I could not do it. I would die. Yeah, because
literally.
Yeah, I mean, but there are people who will. I mean, there are women who would be willing to join that and become a polygamist, and they would be perfectly fine with the cows, the goats, and the pigs, and going to Vermont. They might like skiing or something. I don't know, but there are people who would enjoy that, and if you put it out there, you'll find some people.
Okay. You might want to pick from the people that already live up there, because us Southerners, I don't know.
I would pick from somebody who's in Jamaica or who wants to be in Jamaica.
Oh yeah, because they'll probably see the benefit of coming over to the U.S. no matter which state it is. So,
and then they don't mind doing the farming with the animals and butchering the animals and all that stuff.
Oh gosh, yeah, pick somebody from Jamaica.
Yeah, but the internet is so amazing that you can find people now all over the world. When I was coming up, I don't know how old y'all are, but I'm 51. When I was coming up and there was no internet, I was the only person in my town I knew that. Well, me and another guy, we were the only people that thought the way we thought about religion, and there was no community. So if I wanted to do poly back then, I would have to find somebody in my little town of Marietta, Atlanta, but the world is so much smaller now because you can communicate with people from everywhere. So if I did. If the young lady I'm with, she start acting up, and I gotta kick her to the curb.
Oh Lord!
I will put my poly beard out. Like, come on, y'all. Actually, and that's a funny thing. My Christian family has actually told me one time that maybe you should do poly. Because I'm a lot. It doesn't take a lot to make me happy. It doesn't. It really doesn't take a lot to make me happy. It really doesn't. But those things that do make me happy, you got to be on it. And I'm greedy about it. I'm greedy about my fun. I'm greedy about my intimacy, and I'm greedy about my peace. So like some argumentative woman, she got to go. I can't have an argumentative. I can't do that. Some woman who's not intimate, and all forms of intimacy. I literally went out with a woman who was telling me that me holding her hand, she got to get used to me holding her hand while we walk down the street. I was like, what in the hell is wrong with you? I didn't say it to her like that. I was saying that in my mind.
But listen, you gotta have mercy on us Americans, because you know what we've been through. We ain't seen that.
Oh hell no.
In 1982, we saw the men pushing the women out the cars and we've been through a whole lot. So we got some trauma. So we just ask that you men just bear with us for a moment as we've worked with this trauma.
Ooh,
so that y'all can hold our hands.
I know
y'all to hold our hands.
This is not my relationship show, my channel, but hell no. That is such a double standard. That is such a double standard.
Listen, but this is coming from a woman that's willing to work with the men too, because I understand that you guys have been through something.
Right.
So
Black men in America have trauma. We've been through a lot. We go through a lot. We got to deal with a lot. We've been through the government separating us from our women and from our families. We have the same slavery bullshit that y'all have to deal with that's been taught to us. And many people don't think about it in terms that if you were taught something from your parents and your parents are taught from the grandparent, and it goes on down the line, they're still teaching that same slave mental trauma. We go through it as well. But when we got to work through it, y'all be like, man up. You need to man up. You need to, get it together. And that's just excuses, and stop crying and whining and all this. But we supposed to sit there and be like, you know what? I know you're going through your trauma. I know you had so many things that happened to you. But I just want to let you know that I'm here. And if you want to talk about it, I'm a listening ear to you. If you want me to help you solve something, then I'll become a solution for you, but whatever you desire, and I will, hold you to it. And I'm willing to take you through the process of teaching you that intimacy is a beautiful thing. Or yeah, we supposed to do all that. But y'all tell us, man up.
No.
You a simp.
No.
Yes, y'all do.
No.
Yes, y'all do.
I don't even believe in those terms. I don't believe in that stuff. I would never tell a man that. Never. I will offer him grace and mercy. I promise.
Okay, you may, and that's why Anthony was asking why you laughing. She laughing. Okay, I'm gonna be arrogant a little bit, Anthony. She laughing because I'm funny. Nah, I'm just playing. But I do say things all overly dramatic. But you that may be true of you, Kiki. But what I'm saying, and I shouldn't say but because that dismisses what I just said about you. That may be true about you. Oftentimes, what black men encounter is women who don't care about their feelings and don't care about what they've been through, and just expect them to just, yeah, she knows it's true. Anthony said, you know it's true.
Yes, I agree.
But
I agree. I've seen it.
Yeah,
I've seen it.
they expect the black man to already have it together, mentally, emotionally, financially. We supposed to have it all together. And I understand the standard because most women are looking for emotional support, financial security, and physical security. So you want that out of your man. I get it. But you got to understand we both have been through traumas. And I am harder on a man who doesn't hurry up and figure his out. But there's still the fact that we still have to figure it out. And most people have never really went out and dealt with their inner selves to get themselves past it. Right. So, right. What do I say? Ready-made life for that. Ready-made life for her. Right. We don't always have it. And, we need that woman that can, I can man up in front of everybody else. But when I get home and I'm feeling that, depression, or I'm feeling that stress or that trauma, I need my woman to understand that,
Exactly.
And then,
I agree with you.
And then, like for me personally, some of the things I went through in the military, I need you to understand some of these things. Like, I'm not an insecure man, but because of some of the things I've been through and some of the things I've seen, I am very safety oriented. So if you tell me that you are going somewhere and then you go to a secondary place and you don't let me know, it's not that I think you're out there doing something that you shouldn't be doing. My safety thing kicks in, because if something happens in that place, or I haven't heard from you, or I call you, I don't ring your phone like 3 times and you ain't answering, my first thought is, let me go ahead and check and see if there's been any traffic issues. Okay, there's no traffic, there's no car wrecks in the pathway that she should have been going. Let me look at the news. Is there any, major event going on? I'm kicking in safety gear. I'm still thinking about who I need to call that can get to wherever she's at, and and then when she does call, my phone ringer was off, and I'm like, I don't want to hear that. Damn it! I went through this whole safety thing thinking you laying on the side of the gutter somewhere. So it's not an insecure, but it's because of some of the things I went through in my life, of people being missing and some of the military stuff I experienced. I'm very safety oriented. Yeah. Nothing to do with insecurity. You tell me you want to go out with the girls, you want to have a good time, just don't do the drinking driving thing, and we good. Have fun. Wake me up when you get home. But if I wake up and I call you and you don't answer your phone, we got a problem. Or if you say you on your way home,
we gotta wake you up.
Huh?
Coach, why we gotta wake you up when we get home?
Didn't I just tell you earlier that I'm greedy when it comes to intimacy?
Okay.
And if I ain't seen your butt all day, I want to talk to you. I want to hug on you. I want to kiss on you. I want to do some other stuff to you.
Sweet.
But no, if I ain't seen you all day, and it's different. We can talk on the phone, but I need to see your face. I need to talk to you.
No.
Yeah, I got to have all that. Denise said on YouTube, too many cases where women care about men's feelings after they've been around the block. And she said women in America has had it easy. Men got a raw deal. Yep. You're absolutely right. Especially the black man in America has gotten a very raw deal. And but yeah, it's sad that after we've been around the block, now we can care about somebody's feeling, because we're not taught those things at home. That's not things that we see. I made sure that my kids saw it, which I've seen them demonstrate it, But most people aren't taught those things, and most people don't see those things. They don't understand how to take care of one another. I like being taken care of. Shit, if a woman can't take care of me, we not gonna work. Because I'm gonna take care of her. And I think it's idiotic for people to say stuff like, "Oh, you're supposed to love and give without expecting anything in return." Bullshit. If I invest money into a business, I expect a return. If Denise them got a farm with some animals and stuff, you bought those animals expecting them to have some more animals to grow the flocks. Nobody invests anything without expecting a return. If I invest in you and your emotions and your happiness, you got to invest in mine. And then we keep reinvesting. It's a constant rotation of growth, of more and more investing in each other, because I want to be so happy that I can't sustain myself in happiness. That I just bursting out, like constant smile on the face. Because because that's what I'm looking to give her. That's what I'm looking to give her. Or in your case, and if I go to Africa, them. So now wait a minute. D Wright said, I would tell a man he's a simp if he's simping. So what is simping? Like, what would he be like? What's your example? What's an example of simping, if you don't mind? But yeah, I'm looking, like, for me, we got to be investing in each other. I need what I'm putting out, you got to get back to me. If I'm taking care of you in ways that make you happy, you need to take care of me in the ways that make me happy. Like, I was with a woman, I took care of I explained that to her. So, like, and if we use the 5 love language thing as an example, one of her big love language was gifts. I suck at gifts, okay, because it's not one of my love languages. I could care less about gifts. I understand what a person is doing when they give gifts, but it just doesn't hold weight for me. So I would put on my calendar, today's Tuesday, I'm gonna get her a gift. Then next Thursday, I'm gonna get her a gift. Then next Monday, I'm gonna give her a gift, just so that it's kind of sporadic, But I literally had to put it in my calendar to remind me to go get a card, to go get, some shoes or whatever it is that I know she likes to receive. And she was in love with a certain Disney character, and if I just saw that character, I would get it. And then I enlisted some of her friends and employees, say that, hey, if you see this or you see an opportunity for me to get something for her, let me know. So I got like help. I suck at it, but for her, I made sure that she got it. And but I had to plan it. But one of the mistakes that she made is that she kept giving me gifts. And I was like, that's not what I want. I don't care about these gifts. Like, I got fucking 10 pair of tennis shoes in my closet right now that I never hardly wear other than working out, because I don't wear tennis shoes. But she kept buying them. Like, why are you buying tennis shoes for me? That's what you like. You're a sneakerhead. I'm not. Stop buying them. I just don't buy me gifts. That's you. It's not me. So people have to understand that, like, you got to love a person how they receive love, not how you want them to or how you do. Because shit, let me come home and there's a bubble bath going on, and then there's a massage, and and you got some dipped strawberries and my favorite ice cream. Let's do that.
All right.
Set the fire pit up, or at least have the wood and everything. Let's go sit in the back, light the fire, and have a conversation with some wine, and do that. That's what I like. I come home and my clothes are already ironed. Now we're doing something. Not buying me a gift. No, I mean, I'll appreciate it. Oh, thank you. But it just doesn't go that far.
It sounds like she was taking the easy way out.
Well, most people do. I wouldn't put it just on her, but most people do that. Most people are going to love somebody in the way that they receive love. That's what most people are going to do. It's easy. It is an easy way out because it's natural for you. Because it makes you feel happy if you was receiving it, you're going to give it that same way.
Yeah.
A person like, okay, so physical touch is very big with me. So of course I'm touching all over my woman. Now, if I was with a like that other the woman who had an issue with me holding her hand all the time and all that, physical touch was so far down her line. So it was like a kind of thing for her. So it just wasn't going to work out, you know. So now that's why I, when I'm investigating someone, I'll like use that 5 love language thing. I'm like, what are your 5 love languages? Like, what's your top 3? And if physical touch is not in that top 3, yeah, this ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. Physical touch got to be in that top 3.
Exactly.
Because I know where my hands are gonna be. Like,
Yeah.
The lady that I'm in a relationship with now, you know, she was at the house. She was at my house, and I came in, and she was in the kitchen. Hell, she couldn't even cook because I'm sitting up there holding on to her like half the time. And I finally just say, you know what? I'm finna go into my meditation room, and I'm gonna stretch and meditate, and I'm gonna let you finish what you're doing, because she ain't gonna get no. Now she doesn't mind. She likes it, so it works. But I'm like, hey, how you doing? Let me hold on to you. You know, she trying to walk around the kitchen. I'm like, I'm walking with you. You know, she sit driving down the street. We drove to Wilmington, North Carolina, 5 hours, and for the overwhelming for 4.5 of those hours while we're driving, my hand is on her leg.
Oh, that's so
the whole
sweet.
goddamn on time.
Your guy.
Yeah, you know. So, but
did y'all use 95 North?
Yeah.
Just curious. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, but yeah, that's how that. So I know that's how I am. So I have to make sure that somebody is of like when my guy earlier was talking about being equally yoked. Those are some of those small things that I look for. Like you are going. If you don't like physical touch, you can't be with me. If you don't like intimacies, you can't be with me. If you don't like quality time, you can't be with me. Yeah. I remember doing this test when I got divorced from my kid's mom. And mind you, we got married. We was dating in high school, got married at 19. We was married for 17 years. I had no idea what dating was like as an adult. So I took this little dating personality test thing. And I remember this one question. And I've utilized this question a lot. It says something to the effect of how much time is enough time to miss your partner? You know, 1 day, 3 days, a week, a month, or the time that you are at work. I put the time that I am at work. That is, if I go a day without seeing my mate, I'm starting to have problems. If I got to go a week, let me tell you, the worst job I ever had is this IT contract where I was flying around to all the different airports in the country. And I'd be gone for like 20 days sometimes. You talk about, I was the worst instructor because I was cranky as hell. Because I have not seen my woman. And we didn't have the video stuff like we got now. I mean, the video stuff was beginning, but we didn't have all that. So going 10 and 14 and 20 days without seeing, you know, my wife at the time, that was bothering me. That was getting on my nerves. And I gained like 150 pounds.
God, that's a lot.
Oh, I drowned my sorrow in food. But yeah.
But you gotta be exaggerating. There's no way you gained that much.
Oh no. I was like 300 and something. Yeah.
Oh wow.
When I started that gig, I was at like 198 pounds. And I went up to like 340, 350.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And then I got mad at her.
Because of your weight gain?
Yeah, because she didn't tell me. I did. I called her up. I was in Boston. I walked past the mirror. I thought there was another person in my room because I knew that wasn't me. And I called her up and I said, why you didn't tell me that I done got so big? Well, I love you anyway. It don't really matter. It didn't matter to me. And I thought you knew. I was like, you knew I'm fat. You let me get this big. She was like, it's okay. I was like, no, it's not. I said, it's not okay. I was like, you should have told me. She was like, how you not know? She's like, she was like, your pant size went from a 38 to a goddamn on 46. 52. Well, 52. Went to a 52. How you not know? I said, because I was wearing suits. So I look good in my suits. That was at midnight. I left that hotel, went to Walmart, got me some clothes, and started working out that day. But yeah, I can't be away from my woman like that. I applaud Denise how her and her husband are doing that thing while she's gone for 6 months, and he go up there and back, and whoo, some people can do it. I'm not built that way.
Yeah, I don't think I'm built that way either.
Yeah. After a certain time frame of dating, I tell a woman that I got to see you every day. If I'm starting to like you and we starting to get into that groove, I let them know I don't see you today. I don't see it now. It's a guarantee. I get off work, I'm coming to see you. It's the weekend and you're off work, you coming to see me or I'm coming to see you. We seeing each other. And hell, after a certain amount of time, it becomes who house we sleeping at night. We sleeping at your house, we sleeping at my house. So we finna wake up together. I don't do that. So I like being with my woman. Like if dudes are like, man, let's go out and hang out. Let me see if I want to be with my woman first. Nah, I want to go be with her. Y'all can go about y'all business. But it's enough time for me. Like she doesn't play golf, but I play golf. So I go play golf. After that, hey, where you at? And not to say that my woman couldn't have her own time, not to say she can't go on girl trips, she can do all that kind of stuff. But I'm gonna miss the hell out of her while she's gone.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, Denise says she's not gonna do this much longer, maybe a year. I understand. Sometimes you do things because you're trying to build something. I get it. That's the only reason I took that job that was flying me around the country, because I was trying to build something. But I need to see you. I need to be around you. I need to touch you. Like people who do these long distance relationships, that's good for them, not good for me. Because I've had people who were wanting me to do that with them, and I was like, Like this summer, I met this young lady from Maine, beautiful young lady. I loved our communication was great, and I understood her immediately. But she lives in Maine, and by the time I got back, when I got back from that conference, I had to think about that, and I was like, and she was straight up. She was like, you need to think about the fact that I live in Maine and a long distance, before we start moving in a direction. And she was right about it. And I said, you're right, because she was like, either we gonna become great relationship or we just gonna be really good friends. And I just had to, after I thought about it, I was like, you know what, she just gonna be a really good friend. Because because I know what I would do. I would become lonely, and I would, either she would have to move, and that's not gonna work. So had to keep going.
Tell Denise I'm trying to meet one of her uncles or cousins.
She heard you. You trying to meet one of her uncles? She's gonna turn it into. Look, somebody gonna look at the title of this and be like, "Oh, they talk about Genesis. What's wrong with the Bible?" They gonna get into this. They gonna get into the last hour and be like, "Oh, these jokers talking about relationships and polygamy."
I apologize to your audience. I'm not even sure if I turned everything around when I entered the box.
Nah.
Did you even? Do I need to get out the box?
No, you're fine. I'm actually surprised that this was able to go 3 hours, because nobody's walked in here. Usually my my midday old men crew is in here right now.
Oh.
They in here talking old people stuff. But they my guys though. I like the old guys. They funny. They ain't old. They like 73, 70, 69. I'm 51, so I can't call them ages old no more. But I'm actually quite surprised they're not in here right already. But so I thought
have your open sign on?
Oh, they don't care. I can have that. I could turn the open sign off, and they still would just come to the door. My car is out there, so they will see my car and come in and come to the door. And and then they just know these are my hours, and they know I'm very adamant about my space being open when it's supposed to be open. But the mirrors are reflective mirrors. I mean, the windows are mirror reflective, so you can't see inside here anyway.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, you know, the cigar lounge. We got to keep what's going on in the cigar lounge. In the cigar. Oh, Denise said that her uncles are married. Sorry. Hey.
Oh my gosh. What about the cousins, Denise?
The cousins. And, you know, a little polygamy. She might be ready for some polygamy, Denise.
Oh,
You
I
just,
gotta work. I gotta keep working through that thing right there.
You just trying to get to Jamaica.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Nah, there's nothing wrong with that at all. You are absolutely correct. Shoot, I would look if honestly, if I hadn't started dating this woman in 2019, I would already be living in like Puerto Rico right now.
Really?
Yeah, because I wouldn't have opened the popcorn shop. I would because I had shut the popcorn shop down prior to that, and I wasn't going to reopen it for a while. I was going to keep it just online, and then I was going to move to like Puerto Rico. But because I started dating her, I decided, well, I'm going to be here, so I might well open. Denise said it's easy to move to Jamaica. It is. That's true. You can just get up and move and find them when you get there. But
I guess I could.
Yeah, I'll be living in Puerto Rico, enjoying myself, walking around in some linen all day.
And not the linen coat.
Well, you know I gotta wear my fedora, so I gotta have some linen. I don't do shorts too tough. Not that I got ugly legs. I don't know. I just don't. The shoes that I like, I can't wear with shorts. Then I really like an old man. You know that old man who got the like, you know, for lack of a better term, them church shoes on with the black socks and some shorts.
Exactly.
I can't go that route. But there are other shoes I like that I do rock with some shorts. But you know, some linen is real. I like linen. So I get to Puerto Rico. That's all you're gonna see. Linen, fedoras, cigars.
No, that's right.
And some coffee. And y'all be hating me because I be doing all these lives. They be either like on the balcony, and I make sure y'all can see the beach and the water in the background. You know, just to piss y'all off.
Why are you trying to piss us off, Coach?
Because get some jealousy. Denise, she's talking about some linen makes you look like a tourist. I know, but it's so comfortable and it looks so good until it gets wrinkled up. But you know, I mean, I probably still rock some shirts and button-down shirts and everything. But like, I'm not wearing jeans. I don't like jeans. I can't stand jeans. So I probably have on some slacks then. Because I don't like to wear jeans. I only wear jeans because when I'm at the popcorn shop, I need something durable. But yeah, you know, I gotta be fly. I be shooting these things on some, hey, this Coach Renz, yeah, I'm sitting here at the beach and you know, and gotta listen to that water. I wish y'all were here, but you're not.
People be lying when they say that.
Oh, I pan that thing around. See, I'm at the beach, y'all. Y'all should come sit in the sand with me while we do this live.
Just like me.
That's why, like, sometimes if I knew I didn't have to be here, and it was warmer, like when it's warmer and I don't have to be here and I'm doing a live, I would literally drive 2 hours up to a waterfall and shoot these lives from a waterfall. And it's not about making people jealous. It's just I like being around water. That's all.
Me too.
Yeah, I like that water. Gotta have that water. But I surely need to move. Actually, the young lady that I'm dating, I told her, like, look, we about like a year or two from moving to Puerto Rico. You act right.
Oh, excited.
You know.
Is she excited?
Of course.
Yeah.
You said that she's excited, right?
Yeah, is she excited when you told her that?
Oh yeah. Yeah, she ready to leave. You know, she only has one stipulation, and that's we always have to have emergency money to fly back to see her parents if need be because they're older.
Makes sense.
Which makes sense, which I have the same stipulation for myself because my mom is like 73 years old, 75. No, she's 75. Oh, that lady. Yeah, she's 70. I think she's 75. She's somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
A river is nice. Denise saying a river is nicer than a beach. Okay, so let me put it in perspective for myself. I like to see the beach. I don't necessarily like to have to go on it because I don't like sand. But I will deal with the sand to get to the water. But a really nice waterfall or river is preferable, which is why Puerto Rico is definitely my Caribbean island that I would go to first because they have the whole jungles and all the rainforest and all that stuff. I know Jamaica has that as well, but I'd rather go to Puerto Rico.
Oh.
Yeah. No, I mean beaches is nice, like, but the sand is a problem. I don't like the sand. I did go to. There's a beach I went to in Spain, and it was pebbled. Oh, that was amazing because you just push it off your shoulder arm, all the pebbles are gone. You know you can be doing sand all day. You can take this whole shower and do all that, and you get in your car and you still got sand in your car. You get home and you still got sand in your house. That's why I saw this one. I was looking at this house in St. Thomas that they had for sale 2 days ago, and them fools had carpet. Who in the Caribbean has carpet? That sand is gonna tear that carpet up because you're gonna get the sand in your house. No, but if I can go sit near a river or waterfall, I'm with you on that one, Denise. I choose a river or waterfall before because there's a river that's like 2 miles away from me, and I go over there and sit on a rock and enjoy my whole time frame, as long as the other humans stay away from me. But it's great. But
did you say as long as the other humans stay away from you?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, this particular little part of the river, the easiest part to get to, it got pools in it. So people like to go there and jump in the pool and swim around and walk around and sit in it and cool off and all that kind of stuff. So I will walk up the river. The trail doesn't go that far. So I will walk the rocks up the river to get away from all the people because they're loud and they got their kids and they're making all this noise and they messing with my zen. So I have to get away from the humans. Yeah. Yeah. So I have to go up there. I have to get away from the humans. And I like people when I want to be around people. When I don't want to be around people, I don't want to be around them. I need my solitary sometimes. And when I'm near water, oftentimes I need some. I want to be just like a small group, or just me, and my lady. That's it. So, but I am gonna get off this thing because it is 1:20, and I do have some work to do. Honestly, I just thought about that. I got some work to do. But it's been fun.
I'm gonna be like you when I get older, Coach.
I did what?
I'm gonna be like you when I get older.
I don't know. Is that a compliment or is that like?
It is. It absolutely is.
Well, thank you. I don't know what that means. Don't be
Thank
like
you
me.
for having me on your live today. I appreciate it.
No, I appreciate it. I appreciate you with my experiment. Now that I know other people can hear. So we can add people to the conversations on every live. So I appreciate you. And I'll look into the one that I can get for Facebook. I mean for YouTube and figure out Facebook. So other people will have opportunities on other channels as well. So I appreciate that.
No problem. His name is Jeremiah Camara.
Jeremiah Camara. Okay. I will look up Jeremiah Camara and I'll go into your inbox and send you the address. You wanted the address, right? What did you want?
I forgot what I wanted. Oh yeah, your email address, your phone number, and your email address. Your other phone number is not working. But I still got the shop number, so just give me your email address.
Okay. Oh, you got an old. That's an old number. I had to change my number because too many people had it at one point.
Okay.
That's Kevin's fault. I'm
Tell
blaming.
Kevin, I said, hey, I got off Facebook abruptly when the last time I inboxed him, we were talking, and I got off Facebook abruptly. So he's probably like, oh, what happened to her?
Oh.
Tell him I'm still alive. I'm all right.
I let him know because I got to call him today, and he said I'm gonna kill him, but yeah. I'll let them know. All right.
Okay. All right. Everybody have a good day.
Y'all
It was
have
nice
a
talking
good,
to everyone.
nice conversation. Great conversation. Remember, I'm gonna say it all once again. I'm committing to Tuesdays and Thursdays. We're going to do spiritual videos, spiritual lives every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 a.m. on these channels that you're looking at right now. And then on not this week is going to be Friday, but next week it'll be every Wednesday from my relationship channel, which this whole last hour could have been on that channel, but on my relationship channel, which is called The Art of Tantric Love on TikTok and Facebook. There's a group on Facebook. It will be on this YouTube channel, though, the regular YouTube channel, The Art of Tantric, and we're going to talk about relationships. So go to subscribe to all those channels. I appreciate everybody being here. So y'all have a great day. Remember, you got to free yourself to be yourself because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations. See you later. Oh, and thank you, Kiki.